I'll just repeat myself.
Oh.
I've got plenty to say about that show.
Oh yeah, fuck that show, man. It's stupid. Homelander, one of the most wasted villains ever. Such a great performance, and they just piss it away with the writing, making him a fucking goober.
You didn't watch the spin-off Gen V. It's I don't know how they do it. It's even worse. Everyone on it is worse. And then Homelander shows up, lasers the girl in the chest, and she's like, "Oh, that hurt." And that was it. I was like, "Oh, fuck off."
Stupid, man. Anyway,
isn't the premise of Gen V supposed to be like it's teenage, younger people in that same universe?
Super
Is that
school.
right?
Yeah,
Super
and
school.
basically underneath the school, there's a woman who's carrying out experiments to try and kill the superhuman race, and somehow Vought don't know what she's doing. She doesn't know because they're fully aware she's running a lab, but she never reports back to them. She never tells them anything. They never send any people, and constantly their men are murdered by like just these insane super kids that are underneath the school. Nobody questions like 40 people dying. It's so stupid. Like it's also I'm trying to describe because I'm trying to remember all the bits. It's like they don't understand anything about like basic powers. Like magnetism is used to like hack a computer. It's like, no, that's not how it works. It just bend the metal inside it.
That's one of the things that pissed me off the most about The Boys is like I thought they had learned from so many of the other superhero shows in the past, or just all superhero media, to really ground the magic system and like have the powers make sense. And they kind of tried to do that with Homelander, where like you couldn't have anyone be near him; he's a legit threat. But then they just abandoned that by season 2, and it became a joke. So yeah,
there's a kid called Sam who's got super strength. He can punch through people's helmets, and in the final fight, he can't punch anyone. He's just weak. They do that all the time.
Man, I'm so glad I miss these shows because every time there's hype about something, it's like they just end up being shit in the end. I feel like Severance is going to be the next one that I've kind of missed out on. And
same, I'm waiting
for everyone to be like, that show sucks dick.
Well, season 1 was quite good, and then season 2 started, and I started watching season 2, and then I stopped watching season 2 because I thought, I know what I've seen a few shows a little bit like this. There's a lot of mystery boxes happening at the moment, and I'm not prepared to sink so much of my time into watching a show that's just eternal mystery boxes. So I'll wait until season 2 is done. I have not yet caught up on season 2, but I gather it is still mystery boxes. It's really well put together, but it's still like, where is this going? Do you have a point?
There's only so many mysteries you can have going at a certain time where you can audience can still have faith that they're gonna pull it off, that they can keep running. And then it gets to a point where you just know it's a clusterfuck, and this is you being a fan trying to headcanon all this shit, but they're not actually gonna do it.
What did you think of Dark, the German time travel show? Did anyone watch it?
That? No, German time travel show.
Yeah, it's basically there's one village, and it's kind of like you can time travel, but what you've already done has already happened. So people go back and try and stop things, but inadvertently do them. It's very interesting. And then season 2, at the end of the season 2, it goes, "Oh, there's multiple worlds," and it just fucking.
Oh,
I still think it's good though. Like even the multiple worlds thing, they do handle it way better than a lot of other shows. But I'd say it's pretty good. I'd recommend it. It's on Netflix.
That was called The Dark, did you say?
Just Dark.
Oh, just Dark. Okay.
I feel like Hollywood needs to take like a 10-year break from any time travel or multiverse or any type of thing like that. We need a big, huge break. Just get back to like a dude saves a princess from a dragon. Like I want to get back to the Dragonheart days. Just keep it simple. Like
Chad is divided on Dark. We've got Dark is unwatchable shit, followed by Dark was fucking good and Dark's ending is perfect. How am I supposed to? What am I doing with that?
The duality of chat. I love it
because it's super well executed and everything. I think the ending is kind of the best you could hope for in the situation because it is like 5,000 like strings. You know what I mean? And it does kind of end it in a somewhat satisfying manner. But when they introduce the multi-world shit, it's kind of like, don't know, that doesn't quite make sense. Same for season 3, where it kind of gets a bit iffy. But it still ends in a somewhat satisfying manner. Watch it in German, yeah.
You can say that to almost any show. Once they add the multiverse shit, it just falls off completely. It's like a fucking art. Did anyone see I have multiverse futuristic shit being on their bingo card for Arcane season 2? Like I never thought they were gonna go that direction, and they just fucked everything up. So.
Yeah, another show that I can put in that category.
That's one of the ones where you made the right call. It's because it's not. It's like it really shits on your enthusiasm for season 1, and season 1 was worthy.
Oh damn, a retroactive, yeah, where it goes back. And
it's not like it's not quite Game of Thrones where it makes it fundamentally pointless. The entire story, every character just gets fucked from the very beginning. It's more so just like it's hard to appreciate this or get excited about rewatching it again when season 2 exists. Yeah,
is this Arcane?
Yeah, Arcane.
Yeah.
I have to watch it because it's so miserable. It makes me excited.
Fucking sadist.
So, sometimes I just like going it's like watching a car crash. I just like watching things fall apart sometimes. No, I don't like being caught off guard. When I'm happy and you ruin it, it pisses me off. But if I know it's going to be shit, I go, you know what? I can just enjoy it for the car crash it is.
Well, that was the problem because like season 1 was so good, and then season 2 came out and it was just awful. Whereas something like Jurassic World Afterbirth is going to be awful. I know it's going to be awful, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with that film.
Yeah,
but season 2 of Arcane was just painful from start to finish, to the extent that like I've done most of a script for a review of it, but I think like the first 3 episodes takes me about 5 or 6 hours. And there's a lot more episodes after that. And it's like, I'm not sure I have the time commitment to do a 13, 14-hour video on this show. I might get back to it at some point. Like the first part is made. It's just it's sitting in my drafts.
I'm still too upset. Like I haven't even rewatched it yet. It's genuinely pissed me off because like I love so many of those characters. I'm a big League of Legends fan, and I was so proud of the show and what they achieved. And to just piss all that away, it's incredible. Terrible decisions, and it's just a for spin-offs. It's pretty much it.
Well, that's what kept me away from Stranger Things, because it always had the first season in Netflix is great, then the second season is shit, and then I went, no, I'm not gonna get disappointed again. Didn't watch the first season. Second season came out, everyone said it was shit. I knew I was right. Third season comes out with shit, and now everyone's saying the fourth season's good, and I'm like, do I come back? Do I go through 2 seasons knowing it's dog shit?
That's what people say about Buffy. Yeah. Like, do I really want to go through those first few seasons? If like, I've been curious to watch it for years, but everyone says the first 2 seasons are garbage, and I'm just I love falling in love with a show within like the opening, like Arcane. Within 40 seconds, I was like, oh, okay, I see this is. I thought it was gonna be kidsy, but the tone from the very beginning was so mature. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Game of Thrones, that opening scene just gets you hooked, and then you meet the Stark family, and then it's over, right? I should have to wait 2 seasons to care. That's my big thing.
It's a good point. But the problem is all shows are only designed to get you that season 2, because they go, well, this is the hook. This is the cliff ending, but they don't actually write the story more than 1 season. So no wonder everything turns to shit. All the mystery boxes don't go anywhere. They're just there to justify a second season.
I'm praying for Moblands. I loved that show, but at the end when I saw that, I'm like, oh no, you're setting up a season 2. Fuck, like Multiverse or some bullshit. They're gonna screw it up. They're gonna mess up Moblands. Harry variants or some bullshit. I couldn't
get into it. I watched 2 episodes and I just went, the dialogue just isn't doing it for me.
Wow.
They're going like, what does she say to him, Helen Mirren, when he sink or twist or what is it?
Something that is a whole other fucking conversation.
And I was just going, you just poor man. You were saying this shit to mobsters, you get laughed at. They go, what the fuck are you doing, you bellend?
No, I love Moblands. I'm just nervous for any show that's setting up a season 2 rather than wrapping up a complete story. That's the thing.
So 20 years later,
you got
so
get the slides on.
Yeah, getting the slides out. I changed some things aesthetically a little bit. Changed the background.
Yeah.
Didn't notice.
No. The thing with the background is that it's always behind everything else, so I never really spot what it is.
Oh, we got the Empire.
I appreciate your work.
Oh, thank you, sir. But yeah, so 28 years later, it's debuted at 60 million at the global box office, and its production budget was 60 million. So, and it was 30 million domestic. It looks like, so it was like a pretty even split there. And yeah, what did you guys think about it? I know you haven't really had any chance to tell anyone what you think yet. So.
Someone else can go first. I've already started. I've done this so many times.
I was about to say, this is hour 13. Reaper, I think you should go first.
Wait,
if you just
I
watched.
missed one. Because backstage I was counting the number of times I'd done it, and I started with EFAP on Saturday. I did it on Open Bar on Thursday as well. So
you're
fucking,
right.
it's like,
You're blacking
this is
out.
number 6, I think. I don't know, 4, 5, 6.
16th hour or something for you, mad lad.
Well, I've just finished watching a pirated copy, so I'm fresh in my discussion.
Definitely.
I liked parts of it, like the aesthetic, the way the zombies are done. For some reason, they have prosthetic dicks on. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but
Alpha Dog.
It's because of child labor laws, I read.
Yeah.
So
they encouraged them not to
kids,
move a lot. They encouraged them to run straight.
That alpha's dick was moving everywhere. It was like a compass.
It was a prosthetic. It was like this the whole time, dude.
Yeah.
Where'd they go? That way.
Let's give him an erect one. Let's make him more scary. Let's give him a boner.
That's all the movie needed. Oh my god, yeah.
I always assumed it was real, not a prosthetic. So the guy walks into casting and they say, well, you might have to be naked for this role. Are you okay with that? And he just stands up and says yes.
Just drops it on the table.
Obviously. But if it's a prosthetic, I think significantly less of him, because he then said, yes, if you get to give me like a huge forearm-sized penis.
I completely agree. I kind of I would have more respect for the actor of knowing that's him and he was casted for that certain role. Now, just like you slap the prosthetic on there, it's like you could have done that for anybody now. It's just a strange thing. I don't know why it was such a big topping point after the movie, but every stream I pin on Alpha Dong has to come up.
But it's like,
how can it not? That thing is fucking flopping all around that movie.
When you're chasing a kid, though, someone says that to you, you got to get an erection and chase a child. You go, no, I'll take the prosthetic.
God, it's a supporting character.
God, I just the overall I would say, like, a lot of people agree on is it's like a tale of 2 to 2.5 films. It splits in a way that's completely jarring many times. It jumps the shark at least twice. The first movie has some of the best scares and some of the best potential since 28 Days Later. And then they literally abandon all the quality that they set up and take it into a completely different movie that contradicts all the elements of the first movie and waste the potential. And you're just sitting there frustrated the entire time. And so it doesn't make any sense to split it in that way. And most of the movie's issues could have been fixed with little changes, and you could have had good character moments or improvements in so many different ways. But it feels like they chose the worst decision for so many of the things they did in this movie. It's mind-boggling.
Well, yeah, you spend so long developing the relationship between him and his father, showing that his father's not like a perfect person. He cheats on his wife, and then he just disappears. Doesn't go on a hunt for his own son. He just sits behind on the island.
And they set up that he is totally capable of tracking them down in terms of his capability as a tracker. He knows where they're going, and he has all the motivation to go save his wife and redeem himself with his son. It's all right there. We're all ready.
And I thought that's exactly what they were setting up when
we all did.
That fat zombie was like crawling up towards them.
Yep.
In particular, I thought it was gonna. It was Mom. I was like,
the mom is John Wick at nighttime. The mom's fucking dementia gets turned on and off more like crazily than Homelander's powers. It was horseshit. She's literally an assassin at nighttime, and then she's high as fuck in the day, floating around. Didn't have a single question for like a big portion of the movie. And something I think Platoon. I think you mentioned this. It was the stupid little artsy shots that we got of him seeing his mom was almost there to replace the lack of character moments we had with them. They only had like one moment of him interacting with his mom, which is just a failure when she's so important to the plot for a Spike character. It's pretty bad, man.
It was the slightly strange decision because having obviously contrived it. So, I mean, for anyone in chat who hasn't seen, I mean, I guess we're doing spoilers because it's been a few days.
I would say so.
Yeah, so if you don't want spoilers, get off the internet. But like, So obviously it's set up as you have the first third of the film, which is really I quite like a lot. There's bits and pieces that go a little bit wrong with it, but generally like the aesthetic is great. The kid sort of being taken out for his first mission by his father, being shown all the ropes, that's really good stuff. Seems to be leading you in a particular direction. Then having like him escape because his mum is sick, and then they have to make the father become very rapidly an evil dick, and they do that like so on the nose as to be unbelievable. Kid effectively takes mum out of village, even though they're not allowed to do that. And then of course they don't have the father go and track him, even though that's established as basically his primary skill set and his motive. If you are going to run with that, you might think, well, they're probably doing it because it's more interesting if we get to spend more time with the mother to establish her as the character and her relationship with the son in order that we can properly care about the big thing that happens toward the end of the film. But she's not a character. Like she's there. She has, obviously she's got like late stage cancer. So she is sort of in and out in terms of like psychologically, mentally, she hallucinates and all the rest of it. But there's very few interactions with the son which actually build any meaningful kind of relationship. One scene is thrown in almost certainly, I think, after the fact, because there's a montage cuts of their happy moments together before she kills herself at the end, toward the end. And the montage cut consists of one shot of them actually having a relationship, which is that one shot in the movie. There's nothing else that's been established. So,
it's like Kenobi showing that one shot of Luke just to throw him a bone. It's so pathetic, man. That's the exact same thing I was thinking of. Like, wow, you just shoved that in.
So you're in this awkward position where the movie ditches one of its main characters in order to spend more time with another character, but then doesn't give her a character. You see all of it through the eyes of the kid, but because there's a sequel coming where we have to sort of keep him on pause to have his character development in the sequel, he ceases to be a character at about the halfway to 2/3 point through. You introduce random new people like the Swedish soldier. He did not need to be in the movie. If you're Eric, that's the one. If Eric is in the movie, there are things you could have done with him and they did none of it. He's just there. He tells some jokes. He dies. Waste of time. Dr. Man turns up at the end, poses some interesting questions. But it's too early to say whether he's a character because his character is basically there to say this will be relevant in the next film. So there kind of aren't any characters in this movie, which is bizarre considering it's supposed to be kind of a character piece.
There was one, and he literally got kicked out. He got booped out completely. And Spike was an interesting character when he was with his father. Spike is the boy whose performance was fantastic, by the way. Wasted on this movie. The character dynamic at the beginning was great, but my point of like all of that was just abandoned in the second half, like you're describing. So the second half is devoid of characterization, and the only ones that were developed gets left behind. It's crazy. We got more character from the mom when she was rolling around in bed, delirious, calling her husband a cunt. Like that's where we got more character from her, rather than like half the movie where she's wandering around and shit. It's a failure. It's that's what I mean. Where so many things could have just been tweaked, and we could have got like a pretty decent movie here. Because like even the Alpha, for example. The introduction of the Alpha was fantastic. It was creepy. It was immersive. But then the second you think about any of it, it falls apart because he just gets put on pause for a big portion of the movie, and then slowly gets his mystique stripped from him by how easily he is to deal with. It's such a strange decision they made with almost every part of the movie.
And the way it was shot too, during the action scenes, the first time they do the Matrix, going around the character with the camera, I was like, oh, that's cool. I've seen that before, but that's cool to bring that back. And then they do it like a dozen more times. And I was like, what the fucking stop, man. Like, it's not cool at all.
We had a discussion. I think it was 6 of us. It was me and Friggy didn't like it. Cap and John liked it, and I think you and Mahler were neutral. And I find that super fascinating because everyone is going to have a different opinion on that. I was just like, what did that achieve? I think it diminished the shots. It's made the kills look less significant, made them look cartoony instead of like actually gory. I thought it was I didn't think it worked at all.
A lot of the passes I've seen given to this, I feel like the same people would tear another movie apart for the same problems. Yep. And the reason why I see some passes for is because of the emotional drama. And then, as you just explained, like they have one fucking scene together essentially that builds any sort of chemistry between them. So they have none. So it's just contrived
Forced.
emotional drama. It's not even, it's forced. It's
Forced.
Yeah.
You don't need to do a lot to convince me that a son is willing to risk everything to protect his mom,
Right.
but they did nothing.
Well, yeah,
just do a little bit and I'll buy it.
That's the believable bit. Like the drama, the emotional drama is all at the beginning of the film. Like the moment where he decides to break all the rules of his community and take her out because he desperately wants to find a doctor. That's emotional drama because like you understand what the stakes are, you understand what the rules are, you understand what he's doing and what his motives. That's all fine. But basically, after that, as soon as they leave the village, I'm not sure it's necessarily right to say there's any emotional drama in it because like, we went over this sort of extensively on Saturday, but there's the big final decision toward the end when the doctor explains that she almost certainly does have cancer. It's very advanced. There is no cure. So would she rather die horribly in pain or go out on her own terms? And you think, well, that's definitely, I can see where the emotional drama should be coming from here because it's a harrowing decision to have to make. The problem is they drug the kid so he can't resist. And then when the drugs wear off, he doesn't respond.
It makes no sense.
There isn't an emotional drama there. He doesn't have a view. It's just, it happens. It's shot beautifully. The music is quite moving. Like you understand what they were going for, but they don't have any characters there to actually oppose the decision or react to the decision. So it's not an emotional drama. It's like an emotional beat without any characters involved in it. It's like for anyone who's there's a few boat beats in the movie like this where like if you haven't seen it in chat, it's almost hard to visualize exactly what we're talking about. But like he goes to the doctor carrying the severed head of the Swedish soldier Eric, and like Dr. Man, Ralph Fiennes is like, well, Ray Fiennes even he puts people's bones in boilers, gets the skin off, and he builds a massive bone temple out of them. That evening, drug the kid, mother goes off, killed off screen, kid wakes up, is given skull of mother and said, go put that on top of my skull mountain.
Even prior to that,
like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
He was ranting like, I'll do anything. I'll find it. Like he was willing to go walk off in a random direction to try to find a hospital. He's willing to do anything to save his mom. And then they just drug him so he can't resist. It's like that's a villain origin story. I would have lost my shit once I woke up. Like I don't know how they missed that.
When he was putting the skull on the top, it was the second time in the movie where I leaned back and was like,
that's the second, just the second. I was number 6, at least for me.
Imagine someone giving you your mother's skull and going, find the best place for it.
Best place for it.
I'd punch him as hard as I
fucking beat him to death with the skull and cracked it over his head. Smashed it. That movie should have ended. The movie should have ended with a boss battle. Like it should have been Spike versus that fucking stupid old man. Because that would have made more sense than what they did. And in addition to that, after establishing how good of a person he is and how important this baby is, he says, run along now, and just sends them back into wilderness, a fucking 14-year-old kid, or 12-year-old kid, sorry, and a newborn baby to make their way back. And they don't even bother to kill the alpha when they had the opportunity to several times, because we're going to need him for the next film. It's fucking retarded, man. From the lack of explanation for the alpha even got there, just throwaway line about it, some of them get affected like steroids, to the world building, like the aesthetic that you mentioned, Reaper liking. I liked it too. I just wish it was earned. How did we get here? Why don't you have a doctor? Yeah. Where's the welders? Why are you like? It's just, I don't know. They there's so many things they wanted, but they didn't earn, from the emotional payoffs like Platoon was mentioning to the entire setting of the town and the bows and everything. But just a miss. This movie could have been great. I really think it actually could have been great if we got a legit movie or a continuation of the story they developed, not just splitting it into a whole bunch of nonsense with Eric and like. We haven't even talked about the ending yet. We're building up to that.
Dude, I need to talk about that pregnancy scene.
Yeah, we're building up to so many things. There's so much. It's fucked.
God.
Because it's another of those scenes where, like, if you're just describing it to someone who hasn't seen it, I don't think they'd necessarily believe you. But
no.
So there is this bit around the halfway mark in the movie where so they meet Eric, the Swedish soldier. And like the kid, Spike, who's been taking great care of his mum all the way through because she's like the one thing that is important to him, just randomly, for the sake of convenience, forgets that she's way too far ahead of them. She hears a noise. She goes onto an abandoned train. In the abandoned train is a heavily pregnant rage monster. And the mother, who's sort of hallucinating at this point, kneels down in front of it, puts the hands out. The rage monster puts its hands out. She helps it give birth. A baby comes out. They scream a bit. They shoot the infected mother. Now they have a baby, but the baby isn't infected because And I quote the doctor later, "The magic of the placenta. I always wondered if that would happen."
What does that even
And then
mean?
that was the
I don't
best
fucking
line
know.
they could come up with.
You forgot the key important part that the zombie tried to attack her and then said fuck it, and then they had a sister moment where they went palm to palm. She's
Yeah,
like,
that was
I got you, girl. Don't worry.
That was the moment where
yeah.
I first threw up my arms.
All
when
they needed, all
did
they
the, yeah, girl, you got this.
Yes, all you were missing was like the headbutt, them touching heads together. Just like I know. Like,
And could
this is
you
a fucking rage
imagine-
monster?
Could you imagine what it's like for the infected to fuck?
I'd rather not, but
I don't want
unfortunately, the
to.
movie means that we now have to. And that's why I think that's probably why they gave the alpha that massive schlong.
That's
It's like,
100%
well,
why. They emphasized it in every shot.
Yeah, they emphasize, but also so the strong implication is, yeah, that this heavily like pregnant infected thing is actually the alpha rage demon is the father of the baby, because it then chases them around for a couple of beats in the movie when they have the baby. And there's a couple of other shots as well, which is sort of designed to tell you that this is what's happening. You can sort of start speculating as to what the next movie will develop that as. Like, for instance, like my pet theory is that the Doctor is involved in all of this, because when he says, you know, I always wondered if that would happen, kind of implies that he's been theorizing. And we know that he does experiments on corpses and shit like that. So, like, wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to manufacture, like, Jesus baby. I don't think the magic of the placenta is a very good explanation. And it only really exists and is allowed to exist because Spike is not allowed to ask any questions. And so it's just said, and then we move on. But the baby is like, it's so weird because it's such an important development, but it is not the subject of any scene in the film, really. It's not the main point of anything. It happens, and then 2 seconds later, they're chased away by the alpha. Then they have a brief conversation with the doctor. Is like, did you come here because of the baby? No. Okay. Different things are happening. Then it's like, well, you've got to take the baby back to your home place. So he does that, but most of it's off screen. And he just leaves the baby at his home and then fucks off again. The baby is just like an afterthought in the script, which is really weird considering it's got to be important later. I almost wonder whether they would have been better saving all of that for the next film as opposed to throwing it into this one.
It seemed like too much to throw into this. Like you had a simple plot with a father and son and the family dynamic being in ruins and trying to fix that. Instead, we got fucking Eric and magic placentas and Alpha Dong and Orange Man Bad and then the stupid Power Rangers, and then it's just we got girl, you know, the stupid rage monsters washing their ass in the river like they're slowly getting civilized. Like, what are we doing? It reminded me of Glug in the Rings of Power, like trying to like, you know, humanize fucking orcs. What are you doing?
Well, what was that really stupid scene where Eric saves them? Like all the gas is built up in the station, and all they do is lie down as he ignites the gas, and it only burns anything above like chest height.
Just perfect, like an explosion above their head right here, just right there, and they're down here just fine. Just I don't think that's how gas works. I'm sorry. I don't want to say definitively, but I don't think that makes sense. It's been
building up, but only a little bit.
Yeah. What the fuck? I just, the Eric character comes out of nowhere, accomplishes nothing, takes away from scenes that could have been with the father, could have been with the son, could have been with the son and the mother, makes a few jokes, and then fucking dies in the most obvious random death of the movie. It's an absolute waste of time. And like I said, the most important thing is that he's taking away from opportunity to develop the mother and son relationship that is pivotal to the ending of the movie. But we get nothing. Like, it's just.
But he also, his information about the outside world is that it's perfectly fine. You've got the internet, you've got Deliveroo, you get your fucking meals to your house. Europe is just like Europe is now. That was the problem. Like, Europe should have been in a somewhat chaotic state to justify the quarantine of the island. But he's going, oh yeah, my guy delivers for Amazon, which is like, it kind of ruins the world building. If
it does. It's so casual.
If the army and the countries are in such a perfect state, just bomb England, just bomb the island, get rid of the infected, done.
You have to just ignore the world building completely with this movie. You think about it and it just frustrates you. You just have to just.
But Eric is right there. He keeps reminding us.
I know. That's what I mean. It's easier to ignore it when it's a father-son journey of certain things. But then Eric shows up and screws up the whole movie.
They are so stupid. Those soldiers, like, they go, our boat capsized. And like fucking, they get there and none of them are firing at the zombies. You got like one guy firing and the rest are just going, and running away. I'm like, you've got machine guns, just kill them all.
Fucking tired of soldiers being depicted like idiots. One of the things I love about Predator is the Predator separating the soldiers to get his kill and getting kills that are believable based on their tactics and the weapons that they have. And when they're grouped up, they're much more effective against them. It's like a slasher film with the group that is most equipped for a slasher situation, which I really appreciate. And then so many other movies just forget it. They forget that these are trained soldiers versus 10 infected, which they should be totally knowledgeable about fighting after 28 years of this shit. They should be experts. They should all be John Wick when it comes to killing infected. They should know exactly what to do, the distance, where to hit them. Instead, they're idiots, so we can get horror scenes.
Well, it's not just them, because you've got the caged. What's the island they're on? Like, they don't seem to have any lookouts. Like, the guy has to blow a whistle when the alpha's chasing him. That's the first time. The second time, they don't notice some kid walk up and put a baby on the.
That's the one that pissed me off. You establish a lookout tower. That's how Spike escaped, by distracting that guy. But then no one's on it for the rest of the movie. It's just, this is what I mean by the second movie has nothing to do with the first movie. Like, they forget everything that's established in the first 45 minutes. Just throw it out the window. It doesn't matter completely.
So saying the ending, the very end with those fucking tracksuit wearing fucking ninjas show up.
I'm saying, Platoon, you want to set that one up for the beginning with Jimmy?
I mean, well, that's another of those moments that is kind of like, what? So right at the beginning of the film, we'll start there. Like the prologue of the film is like, so they're in the Scottish Highlands. There's a little kid whose name is Jimmy, and the infected attack what looks to be kind of like an orphanage type place run by a religious group. Loads of kids get killed. Little Jimmy goes to try and find his father. His father is the priest of the place, and kind of getting off on really, really bad foot. Mad priest is mad, and he's like, no, this is exactly what was prophesied to happen. This is great. These are my children, etc. And then he just sort of gets himself munched. But little Jimmy survives, and that's kind of it for little Jimmy for most of the movie. There's one scene in the interim where you come across a corpse with, I think, Jimmy or something carved into it. But you don't really revisit it again until the last scene in the film, when little Spike, the kid, has deposited the baby and then just fucked off onto the mainland again to find himself, because that's what the next movie needs to have happen. He runs away from some zombies, and he is met by Jimmy Savile, the leader of the Jimmy Savile gang, which I guess we might as well just call them the BBC. And so Jimmy, his name is Jimmy. He's dressed like Jimmy Savile, has the outfit, he has the chains, he has the glasses, has the hair, like he is, and all of his weird friends dressed the same way. The movie's excuse for this will be that culture stopped in 2002 in England before we all knew that Jimmy Savile was quite possibly the worst paedophile in the history of paedophilia. So then they do these Power Ranger moves and they beat loads of zombies, and you are left with the slightly awkward implication that a young 12-year-old boy is now going off with the BBC and the Jimmy Savile gang. And that's how the film ends. It's a really strange moment.
It's one of the most jarring tonal shifts I've ever seen in any movie in my entire life. It deserves a mention when it comes to that. I was with the theater. I saw it in theater, and when you're in an audience, you kind of you're just all psychically linked for that moment. Like everyone's just, and everyone unanimously was like, what the? And as we walked out, no one was talking about the movie. It was like 17 different conversations about what was that scene? What were they wearing? Look at the hair. Why did he have a bunch of, it looked, I don't even, what were they thinking with that? No one's going to get the reference. Most people are not going to understand what they're talking about. And it ruined the movie for most people, because it's the last thing you think about. It's the last taste in your mouth as you leave the theater.
Yeah, my friend actively freaked out. He was like, what the fuck was that? And the people sitting next to us were looking down like this. Like they were ashamed that they were there.
I compare this because if we're just talking about the sensation of a movie ending, one of the ones I referenced, just even thinking about it, I get fucking almost goosebumpy. It's after Amon Hen, when they're Gimli and Legolas are depressed, and then basically Aragorn says, "We will not abandon Merry and Pippin to torment and death, not while we have strength left in them." And then they go basically and they start the journey that they're gonna be on for 2 towers. I remember being so fucking pumped up that they were gonna save the hobbits. You fucking legend, Aragorn. Let's do this. I can't wait for the next movie. Compare that to this, where you're just like, what? Just completely just shocked, and you don't even know if you want to watch the next one if this is what they're setting up. It's so
it completely destroyed it, because you spent all film establishing how dangerous the zombies are, and then a bunch of fucking freaks show up and start kicking them and doing They start doing somersaults. I'm like, who the fuck practices? This is the apocalypse. Did you go to a gymnasium?
Yes.
Where the fuck did you get all these like somersaults ready? And they're doing
insane.
backflip kicks. They're taking heads off like it's nothing. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It ruins the entire logic of everyone in the village, because if they're showing how efficient melee weapons are against this thing, why are we fucking around with stupid little arrows and whatnot? Because I was thinking throughout the movie, after 28 years, you guys should be experts at killing these things. You should have so many different tactics to bring them down. You should know exactly how to deal with every single type, whether you're unarmed or you're fully equipped. But we wait to the very end of the movie to get some fucking Cirque du Soleil bullshit with them flipping around and doing all that nonsense. So it kills your immersion while killing the tone, while killing the end of the movie. It just murders so many things, and it lasts like 30 seconds.
So is the sequel just going to be Spike in a big yellow tracksuit doing somersaults?
Doing flips. I don't want to see this. Poor Spike.
He's like Damian Wayne now.
Yeah, he's gonna go. Are they gonna do like a Megazord? Is that how they all fuck each other?
Yes, they all force together. They do flips and they get into like a transformer position.
Come on, Jimmy, get into the Megazord, and they're all in one
Jimmy.
bed.
Come on, Jim. I
did just want to mention J-Mac has gifted 50 little platoon memberships.
Thank you very much, sir. Very generous, and welcome to those members. Or not welcome, because you're
28
here,
years later.
Yeah, go back to 28. It's yeah, because it's really awkward, because like I actually don't think the movie's very good. I think there's enough in the movie that's interesting. Correct. I'm still kind of intrigued as to what the next one will do. I don't think it will fix half the problems of the first one, and I don't think it's ever a good sign that you're waiting for a second movie to fix any problems in your first movie. Because you can do that quite easy. Most great trilogies, each of the films works as a self-contained piece as well as an installment in the story, right? And New Hope works on its own. Fellowship of the Ring works on its own. Any other trilogy you care to name, usually it's really good because each film is really strong, and you don't ever sit there thinking, well, maybe this will get better in time. Very rarely is the answer yes. So
I don't think. I was just going to say, usually when they leave stuff open-ended like this, the next film is going to have the same set of problems.
Yeah.
And then the next film, even the final film will not explain half the shit that was in the first one.
Yeah.
It'll answer one or two and set up a bunch of other mystery boxes.
How many questions did we have at the beginning of TFA that we thought were fundamentally going to be set up properly and have great payoffs to? And we got nothing. Where did Luke's lightsaber come from? Nobody knows. Like Finn ended TF.
Yeah, it's a good question for another time.
Exactly.
When the fuck is that other time? Because we still haven't got it yet. What?
That's what I'm saying. We got Maz Kanata throughout this entire movie. It's just so much of it. It's just like, don't worry about that. It's crazy.
Wait, it's been nearly a decade and we still never got that answer. A decade.
Nothing. It's the thing that bothered me too as well is like Finn, he got his spine like ripped up by Kylo at the beginning, and Ryan just made a joke out of it, and they never mentioned it ever again. I thought it was going to be a significant part of his character, like he was going to be paralyzed or had to be a cyborg or all the ways that could have went. And
I guess the difference maybe is that the director is changing for part 2. It's Nia DaCosta of the Marvels fame is doing part 2. I think Alex Garland is writing all of them, and I'm conscious as I'm saying that Alex Garland writing all of anything does not mean it's going to be good. In fact, it quite often means it's going to be fucking awful. But it might be a little bit more tonally consistent than TFA and TLJ, where just because there's roughly the same creative vision behind it. It's just that Garland is like, occasionally he lucks into something incredibly good, and then the majority of what he does is arse garbage. It's just fucking nonsense bullshit, like Civil War, for example. He doesn't really seem to feel obliged to provide explanations for things, and that's frustrating. Yeah, that was him.
Oh, that was a shit movie.
Yep.
It was only one good scene, and it was literally last minute shot, and it's what's her face, the husband of the main character. She was Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah.
What's her name again? Doesn't matter.
Can't remember her name either.
Kirsten Dunst.
It was just one meme. It was just him going, "What kind of American are you?" That was the only memeable bit. The rest of the film was shit.
Well, yeah, it was the only strong scene. Is that they put it in the trailer because it was the only strong scene in the film,
and it was last minute.
Yeah, it was like he just turned up on set.
It's hard to believe, yeah, that this guy made Ex Machina. Whoever made this clusterfuck of a movie. Inconsistent directors are super fascinating. I don't even know how to judge them. I would say, like, you think he's due for a good one based on his record? He usually does one good, one bad, one good, one bad. Maybe the next one would be like this best zombie movie. Or no, wait, he's not even making it. So maybe his next film will be fantastic based on his track record.
Well, I mean, but he is writing I think he's writing all of the 28 Years Later trilogy, I believe, anyway. And as Chats pointed out, that he did Warfare, which I've not seen yet, but apparently is really good. He did Ex Machina, which is pretty good. He did the original 28 Days Later, which is pretty good. But it's just that every time he does one of those, it's then followed by a Civil War or a Devs or something else he's done recently that really pissed me off besides Civil War. I can't remember what it is. He's done some crap, basically. It's like one really good thing, one really awful thing. And I'm slightly concerned that all three of these will be in his really awful mode as opposed to his really good mode.
Without any spoilers, is Warfare like an easy recommendation?
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know, but I hear lots and lots of good things.
Same.
Oh, Annihilation, that's another one. Yep, that's the one of the not as clever as it thinks it is. Movies.
That's the one.
Everyone says that film's supposed to be smart, but I've heard it's stupid. Yeah.
No, it's one of those artsy, stupid ass. Like, no, the movie needs to stand on its own. You can't.
Is it one of those things where it's like, oh, the power of love, or some stupid shit like that, or is it a bit more intelligent?
I don't even remember how it ends.
I remember the bear, and that's it. Fuck
well, the bear's quite effective, like just as a visual and audio treatment. It is quite horrific, but doesn't it end with there's the lighthouse. They go to the lighthouse, and then there's like a mimic version of Natalie Portman, and then she learns that it mimics her behavior, and then she tries to trick it into taking a grenade that she set off, but then actually it wakes up in the real world, and it's the alien thing. Not I don't really remember. I just remember it didn't make any fucking sense.
Something like that, really, really, really stupid. Like she tricks an alien something.
Yeah.
It's a fever dream at this point to me.
They also like stole the setting from Pokemon, the third movie, The Curse of the Unknown. Because that has
Spell of the Unknown.
They have the unknown. They create an alternate dimension, very crystalline, where strange things happen. You go there and you have to adventure through all the weird, strange things that happen in order to break out of it and back into the real world, which is just Annihilation. But Annihilation is more pretentious. Pokemon did it better.
Wow.
Pokemon is better.
Pokemon did it better is a line that just shouldn't happen. Just almost never. It's crazy. It's this movie, like, almost what would you say is a good way to conclusion? It's like after shredding it for like what feels like 15 hours now, I still kind of recommend it, because if you're a horror fan or a zombie fan, there's going to be some interesting things there at the beginning, and there's going to be a lot for you to discuss and break down. Like, look, like it's not Brave New World where I've already forgotten the entire movie, even though I've reviewed it. This is like, I still want to know what people think about this film.
Is it more wasted potential you hate? The fact that you could have, with simple changes, you could have had a really excellent movie, because that's what I kind of despise about it.
100%. That's me and Prometheus. My beef usually is wasted potential for the main things. It's part of the reason we hate Arcane. It's part of the reason Game of Thrones season 8 is like a stain on people's soul. It's the potential just being shat on. It's not just a bad show or a bad whatever.
And how easy so much of it is to fix as well. Just like, not having Eric in the movie unless you're going to do something with him. Like that entire section is just time. It's the opportunity cost that having that section in the movie means you're not going to be devoting that time to actually fleshing out the characters you're basing your film around.
Yeah,
and it's just very frustrating. The number of very simple fixes you can add in, which just take a moment's thought and improve the film, and they couldn't be bothered for the first film in their trilogy. It is kind of interesting to see what the reception's been there, because I believe it got a B in the cinema score, and the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes I think is 67%. Neither of which are good.
That ending scene is how you leave the theater going, what the fuck?
What the fuck was that? I think if that scene was deleted, people would really, because the performance, and like you said, it was manipulative and it wasn't earned, but a lot of people were affected by that scene of like, I know what you're going for here, the components aren't there, but I'll give you it. I feel something. But then whatever you felt with that just gets pissed on by that ending scene. Cut that off, delete Eric, and don't fucking remove this Chad father from the movie. And I think we already have a better movie right there. And respect the alpha. Actually keep him as a scary threat. Don't completely nerf him by a blow dart. They stopped the alpha by a blow dart. I don't think we mentioned that, by the way. Like, just and then he's just zonked out.
Yeah, they do it twice and don't kill it, which presumably means the doctor has a plan for it at some point.
Well, it's a weak setup for future movies, but it's also a way of completely, like, do you remember in the shitty Batman movie, and Bane, whatever you thought of his performance.
Batman and Robin, yeah.
No, not that one. The Dark Knight Rises. Bane just gets cocked at the end when you get his origin story, and he suddenly becomes a complete loser, like minus 1,000 aura type thing. I felt the same thing with the Alpha of like, man, you went from scary to like you're just kind of some loser with a big dong now. Like I don't even know what to think about you, So yeah,
you gotta respect the cock.
It'd be funny if everyone got round and went, look, he's got a giant cock. And everyone's going, big dick, big. And everyone's making fun of him. He goes, come on, guys, it's not that big.
That's his origin story. That's how he became sentient.
It's like a baby's arm.
A complete mix, like the ultimate mixed bag, I think is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, I'd say no. I walked away. Well, not walked away. I was literally sitting here, just finished it. But I can't, disappointed was, especially how good those trailers were. What you were promised.
Where's the cult? Where's the cult? I saw the mask. What the fuck?
The mask
was that?
was just them. The mask had no significance, or it might have a significance. Who knows? Because you can always do this with when you have like 3 sequels. Oh, don't worry, that's in the sequel. It's lazy. And I do think a lot of films do that now, where they just go, "Well, we got a sequel," and they don't even intend to answer it. Because after 3 years, no one gives a shit.
Sequel bait is a blight on society, and there's only certain shows that I trust to be able to pull them off. And there's no reason, this current state of Hollywood, there's no reason to have faith in a lot of shows, Like Moblands just got renewed for season 2. If they don't fucking drop the shark or do any bullshit, I do have faith if they can maintain that same quality of season 1. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I won't punish you guys any further by making you talk about this anymore.
It's over. It's done.
45 minutes is good.
28 years later, still talking about them. Still talking about this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And honestly, like I gave Thunderbolts like a 5, I think, or like a 5.5. I think to get that score, that's when you have like good performances or like good character work or something. And I didn't really like the character work in this movie, so I would just say this is a bad movie. I mean, say it's okay.
Movie
Like
1 was decent. Movie 2 was shit. Movie 3 was embarrassing. However you want to split them up. The potential in the beginning I can't call bad. I call it flawed because I got some good character. Like I wanted more of.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I wanted more out of the father. I wanted more about his relationship with the son. I wanted to see this family mended.
I checked my phone at the point when the story flipped because I wanted to see like how long it had been. And it was like right at the halfway mark. So like half the movie is interesting, and then the other half just disregards it and is not good.
It's 2 films. So, it's 2 films.
Yeah.
The only way you can like this movie as a whole is if the performances swayed you, you ignored all the issues, and it just affected you on an emotional level. But then on a rewatch, that's gonna fall apart, my dude. That doesn't hold up. That shit doesn't work. And the Spike ceases to be a character as soon as he leaves with his mom. It sucks.
Like,
it just stops.
My mom just died of cancer, and fucking when he was like putting that skull on top, I was just like, gay.
Not even you.
Sucks.
Someone should have just came across and booted it.
Yeah.
Play football with a skull.
It wasn't as potent as they thought it was. It's missing so many ingredients. And just before we move on, I just want that one last thing of I didn't have that experience of being bored afterwards because I thought 100,000% the father's gonna show up at any time. This is the perfect setup. He's packing his things right now. He's gonna show up and no. But yeah, from what you mentioned, sorry to hear that for sure too, man.
Oh no! Well, it was like almost a year ago now. Holy shit, time flies. It was July last year.
Well, I was assuming it wasn't yesterday based on how you said it.
It was like July last year.
If it was 10 years ago, I would have still said the same thing.
Yeah, you sound like a psychopath going, no, she died when? About 5 minutes ago.
Well, I was at the movies watching this fucking piece of shit.
Oh my God. No,
God.
That together.
Well, what's next on the docket here then? Oh, yeah. John Bernthal will return as the Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I don't think I've ever seen a worse name.
Yeah, I know. And that logo looks ugly as shit. Those colors don't go together very well.
So it's
Yeah, you're right.
it's him from it's the ultra violent, very sweary him from Daredevil going to be in
Well,
Spider-Man.
Is it
Tom
though?
Holland.
That's the question. So, which Punisher is turning up? Is it Punisher from like Netflix Daredevil? Is it Punisher from Daredevil Born Again? Because that guy's just a retard, or is it a different Punisher altogether? And they're not going to get away with having him massively brutal in a mainline film because it's not going to be anywhere near R-rated. So he's going to be like tame Punisher. I really like it. I think John Bernthal is excellent, and
Awesome.
like in the Netflix show, that character is fantastic. But I haven't seen the Punisher, the standalone show. He's useless in Born Again.
Season 1 is good. Season 2 is flip-floppity.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Born
So
Again.
it's like Spider-Man just gonna web him, and he goes, "No murder for you," and he's like, "No," and that's it.
And that's the end.
Pretty much.
What else can he do? Because he can't go, "Fuck you! I'm gonna kill people." You fuck it. He can't talk.
You're not gonna get a rooftop conversation like him and Daredevil with fucking Spider-Man. They're not gonna go that deep. But I would go so far as to say I don't think we're ever gonna get a conversation that mature ever again between two superheroes. Like that scene is too good to even exist with today's standards. It's nuts.
And it probably shouldn't yet anyway either, because Peter's only like fucking 18.
Yeah, he shouldn't have those type of feelings about this. But I just
aren't what's her face, Zendaya and the fat Asian kid, aren't they coming back?
Yeah, they are. They just got announced that they're coming back, I think.
His name is Ned, you monster.
Oh yeah, Ned.
Ned.
Fat Asian kid.
Wait, isn't Ned's a wizard
character
now, isn't he?
He's a wizard, Harry.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, didn't Ned learn how to use the
ring.
sling ring at the end of No Way Home?
Sling ring,
Oh
bro.
my god, you're right. Yeah, he was. What a way to completely shit on Doctor Strange. Like anyone could just grab a sling ring and start doing the stupid shit. Like
Well, I think that's the point. It's not just anyone. They are doing something with him having the ability. So at minimum,
in a different era, this would have been exactly what we needed. If you like cast your mind back to the end of Phase 3, the end of Endgame, beginning again with Phase 4. Ideally, you begin your new Marvel Cinematic Saga back on the ground level with characters interacting like Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher, all these people who do like the dirtier, nitty-gritty, smaller scale, but more human stuff in New York. That would have been really, really good to see and interesting. You could do interesting interplay between Punisher and Peter Parker, guy who's lost his kid, finds himself in a weird sort of almost fatherly role to a kid who's trying to be a superhero. Like, there's so much stuff you could have done, and we did none of it. And now we've reached the point where they're doing, he's going to be in the new Spider-Man film, which is going to somehow maybe still be set between two Avengers films, but also maybe not because they rescheduled one of them. I just don't think it's going to work, and it's a shame because it so easily could.
I think that like the reschedule doesn't really matter because it was going to play the role that Ant-Man 2 did last time between phases. Or no, well, it was still the same phase, but between the Avengers movies, and it takes place before both movies. So it's it's probably not going to change anything. But I don't know.
I did like your little pitch there, like Punisher being thrown in a fathership role with Spider-Man. I could see their dynamic working without ripping off the dynamic of him and Tony. Like it could be its own thing, but they're not going to write it well. They're not going to, because you still need Punisher to be Punisher for that to work, and find some way to kind of like balance him out with Holland. Kind of like Jim and Selena in 28 Days Later. I really like that relationship of like, they don't nerf her, but they just bring some humanity.
Maybe they're going to play like the Terminator 2, and he's going to try and get not to kill people. Yeah.
He'll live. We need that scene with Punisher and that'll be great.
Because we can't kill anyone. Why? I'm the Punisher.
I'm the Punisher. I punish people.
I'm the Punisher. He must be punished.
Why? Be punished.
Why? We just need that scene. I want that scene now. I want T800 fucking John Bernthal. We need it.
But the Zendaya and Ned coming back, doesn't that kind of nerf the whole point of the third film?
Yes.
Because Peter sacrificed his relationship with them to keep them safe, but now it's, oh no, we'll just come back, forget it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you're going to do it. Unless like they're going to be a pointless cameo, and it's like, well, what's the point? Move on.
Well, it's not that he forgot, like, forgetting them to keep them safe, right? It was like it resets everything, so it would just be really hard for him to like rekindle everything from the start again. I think.
Yeah,
is
it's
kind of
like
the
Peter
point.
and Gamora. They have to reset their relationship.
Yeah.
That's the thing I hated about Endgame. Like instantly, just instantly. Like, wow, how do you just delete character and chemistry like that? That's stupid. Yeah, what can you do? They got to get John Bernthal back as Punisher before he ages out of this, man. He still has like so much potential with this role. I feel like he could have done so much more over these last few years, and we get Daredevil Born Again instead.
But we haven't had one good Disney Plus show. So who's going to
Not
write
one.
them?
Not one.
Every single one has been shit.
The first 3 episodes of WandaVision is the only thing people reference. I kind of agree with that because there was potential there in good performances. Every single other one was shit. Garbage. Trash.
Like 100% failure rate.
Incredible.
And you're going to give these people another character to ruin. Like that's the insane thing. Like Punisher, again, so far, he is the best Punisher we've ever had, and he's capable of giving like strong performances. And it's just he's got nothing to work with, and none of the writers at Disney are capable, nor would they be willing to actually go to the depths you would need for a character like Punisher.
None of them. If they weren't even willing to deal with secret invasion in a respectful way, like the Skrulls, it like just as a sci-fi fan, if you're not excited to like figure out the Skrulls and how they're going to be incorporated into the world building, how their abilities work, I would stay up with all my nerdy friends and be able to map all that shit out, even if it took weeks. They did nothing. They just threw it in. It's wasted.
Isn't the Skrulls technically, they kind of ignoring it, but isn't the Skrulls currently engaged in like a big war with the human race?
There's like 1 million Skrulls on Earth, but the MCU
and they're like blowing people up and murdering people, and isn't there like currently war going on everywhere and paranoia?
Who knows?
Well,
the
no,
last
that's the
time we got a
other-
throwaway line was Born Again.
Well, yeah, but Daredevil Born Again, Kingpin. We know that this is completely fucked because Thunderbolts was set in New York, but Daredevil Born Again is canon to the MCU. But if it's canon to the MCU, then New York is under martial law. Kingpin is the mayor. There's like a huge armed crackdown. People are being shot in the streets, and they're building a new country out of a port. And none of that's in Thunderbolts. I don't believe that they will ever manage to make these things work together.
Yeah,
it would be funny. Yeah, if Punisher went, "Hey Pete, remember that fucking Void guy?" and he mentally raped us for about 50 hours.
Oh my god, it's just throwaway lines like She-Hulk mentioning the big alien creature thing from the Eternals that's in the ocean. They just turned it into a joke. The blip should have been a fundamental part of Phase 4. I'm lost track of the phases, but the blip should have been explained in a grounded way, and we got like a jokey scene in I think Far From Home showing people blipping back, and it's just like, wow, you're just gonna skip over that? Like,
and now it's not even mentioned. They don't even talk about the blip because
nobody cares.
So many more. Like the Celestial only kind of came back in a Brave New World, but now it's like we have adamantium everywhere. Everywhere should be like Wakanda because this is even better than vibranium. Yeah, it's nowhere. No one's got like Wolverine fucking claws, which you would have if you have that much. If you've got a fucking statue of adamantium, think what you could do with it.
I know.
Adamantium.
Yeah, that's what I mean. These resources need to be extremely rare. Like Game of Thrones did it really well. Valerian steel. Didn't have any craft. You could rework the metal, but no one knew how to make it anymore. And it just made it so much more believable. So those weapons were super valuable within the world, and then the reveal for what they're actually capable of was perfect. Now it's just a joke. Like any like sci-fi metal, like they just don't know how to do it. I don't know. You have to keep it simple. It's really important.
Well, it's restraint. Like you waited for that Jon Snow moment where he took on the White Walker, and you saw what a Valerian steel sword was really capable of. That was how many? That's 5-6 seasons.
It's yeah. They waited for Hardhome. Cynic. That's the one I keep mentioning to you. Because I think Hardhome is one of the best zombie scenes ever. Like it's like top 5, top 3, anyone you could think of. They did zombies better than The Walking Dead did, arguably, and it came out of nowhere. But incorporating it with the fantasy elements, like the Valerian steel and whatnot, and the Night King, it's just It's such a mesmerizing scene. It's one of the main scenes that built up to people's frustration with season 8 not having any payoff, because pretty much that's the only time we got to see like the White Walkers, and it's just frustrating. But yeah, like that was the perfect way to do it. The MCU is like they can't replicate that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking just such disappointment.
Oh well, apparently Ironheart's out in 4 hours, so you know that's something. to
Yeah,
look
there's
forward to.
that at
Oh, I
least.
forgot about that.
Yep, it's coming.
I wonder what
really?
will be on the thumbnail next week.
Mm.
Yeah.
We're
That's
all
one of the
picking
few things where like I know 100% I'm doing a video on. Like that's not even guaranteed.
I
Yeah.
keep forgetting it's coming, and then being reminded and thinking, "Oh yeah, I actually do have to do some even more work this week."
Yeah, I forgot about Squid Game as well. That's on the 27th. I thought that was next month. It's like next week almost. And,
Oh god.
that's coming around the same time.
Well, that has that has the sequel problem 28 years later does, where it like all the shit in season 2, they're kind of waiting for season 3 to explain it. And I'm like, that's kind of sucks ass. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
there's not enough in season 2.
I referenced that on a stream of like 28 years later kind of reminded me of Squid Game. Of there's so many things they set up, but it's for the next one, and we have to hope that they pay off. But after rewatching season 2, I have more faith that Squid Game will actually have payoffs that are meaningful more than 28 years later. I think they can pull it off. I like them much more on rewatch.
Well, I wouldn't invest too much. With the amount of times endings have been absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
When it's so easy to give people what they want, but they always have to go, we need to have a twist ending. We need to surprise people. He goes, no, Frodo gets the ring in Mount Doom. That's exactly what you said you were going to do, and it's exactly what happens. How it played out was unusual, and you didn't expect it. But the ring was thrown in the fire. We got what we wanted. It was happy.
It's simple, man. Like I know exactly what you mean. Like Beatrice is going to kill Bill at the end of the movie. I know it's going to happen. I just want to see it play out, though. The idea that everything needs to be subversive is nonsense. I hate that. That's the mentality that ruined Game of Thrones. It's ruined so many other things. And shout out, someone mentioned in the chat, the trans character in Squid Game was one of the best acted and one of the best arc of the entire season, and so many people ignored it just because they were trans. Look back at it; the story was actually good. That's how you one trans character that's believable.
Where the trans character's doing the keepy ups, he's kicking the ball up, but he goes, "Look away, everyone! I'm embarrassed." I'm like, "It's a life or death moment. What the fuck are you doing? I don't care if I see you bulge. I don't want to fucking die."
But the explanation for it was believable. I could believe that I'm not finished yet. That means enough to if they care enough to do surgery, then they do. I believed it in that moment. Maybe it was the performance, but I know what you mean. Life or death, fuck it. Just kick that thing.
No, but he went, "Everyone look away, I'm embarrassed." I'm like, I don't give a fuck, we're gonna die.
But before that, remember, right before that, what did she do? Slap the shit out of that dude who was panicking, threatened to stab her eye out if she didn't do it. So like you got a lot out of that character, and so many people brush it off.
No, but that's even worse, because if she's like, get it together, but when it's her turn, it's like, oh no, I can't do it. I'm embarrassed.
She fucking nailed it, though. If she screwed it up and they all died, I'd be right with you. She nailed it, though. Oh God, more Daredevil. Get that out of my face. I'm done with you.
I thought you might like this quote. So the editor says that they were told not to watch the Netflix series pre-overhaul. The original take on it was to lean away from the Netflix Daredevil show. They actually told us not to watch the Netflix show because they didn't want to affect how we were editing it. Once we restructured everything and figured out we would do a different take on it, we dove back into the Netflix side of things. We were able to use temp music from the Netflix series and get back to that darker vibe. How do you feel about that?
You were able to use temp music. Why couldn't you use the good scripts?
Yeah, it's the type of thing. It lines of what we heard. Like the first season was an abomination, and he quickly tried to reshuffle some of the old cast back in. Like Foggy and Nelson came back for pickups.
Yeah.
And then he killed Foggy and wasted it. So, but that's just classic, though. It's like, right, I don't want to give you what you want, what you expect. I'm going to give you something different. I go, but if it's something different, why is it called Daredevil? You're only taking the franchise because nobody wants to watch your dog shit script. So you have to skin wrap it in a fucking Daredevil costume.
Fucking terrible. Cynic, you asked me. You want my answer? This is how I feel about that. I think I need to get a drink after seeing that fucking line. Like that is just fucking. That is an. How many times have we fucking seen that? Don't watch the original series and understand why it's so beloved to this day. Why the fan base has been begging to get it back. Why it's one of the best things Marvel's ever done. Don't watch that. Like, how is this your mentality when you're creating things? It's insane. And Daredevil, I made a video on a very, very short one, and basically breaking down that I think it ruined Matt's character from the opening scene with the addition, what making Foggy's death that meaningful, turning his powers on and off like an idiot, breaking his no kill rule, literally kicking Karen out of the show so they could replace her with someone who's black and more diverse. It's fucking pathetic. What the Cherry and that stupid frog add to this season that Foggy and Karen couldn't have done. I can't believe it. I was embarrassed for Matt. I can't think of a recent example where I was more embarrassed for an actor and a character, like both. The fucking fiddle faddle scene with the black dude. I wanted to cry. I wanted to I was like fucking that was right. It was almost like You Have to Do Better Part 2, like the Falcon fucking scene. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's pathetic.
Why can't I steal shit?
Because it's illegal. It tastes good, and I wanted it. And then Matt bends the knee to that when he should have dealt with idiots like this a million times and shut him down and made a good scene. He's a fucking moron. I was embarrassed by that.
Why can't I just steal shit? Yeah, I agree. You're a fucking lawyer. Your whole fucking job, you twat.
It's insane. He should have had a pre-set up speech for that exact mind state and thought process. He should know exactly how to break someone down and get that poison out of them in one swift monologue. He should have been
doing a lie detector.
Instead,
he knows when you're lying. So that's what's so good.
I forgot about that. Why am I not thinking? I forgot.
That's how he understands why Karen is innocent, because he goes, right, she's fucking. She clearly, her heartbeat is telling me she's telling the truth. She didn't murder a boss.
Oh my god. That's
one
of the coolest scenes in Daredevil season 1 is Matt tracking the guy as he's walking down the building and knowing by his heartbeat and knowing exactly when to drop the fire extinguisher to knock him out. They establish the extent of his powers in that scene, and then they ignore it completely in Born Again. It's so bad, man. Just because he doesn't know what he's doing.
But as we said, like Kingpin, his entire rise to power should have been a whole season. And yet it's like one episode, there's, I'm going to be mayor. Don't worry about all the murder I've committed.
He got fucking mangled. If you include Echo, what they did to him, the mind rape from Echo, and then this show and everything, Kingpin is up there with some of the most brutalized, battered down, ruined character assassinations in all of Marvel. Because we have the best depictions ever, man.
Vanessa is a better boss than he is. She's a better crime lord than the Kingpin.
Bro, he was on top of everything in season 1. You say his name, you fucking kill yourself because you just, taboo. They set that up perfectly. He was on top of everything. He was brilliant and controlled. And even the way he dealt with Madame Gao and whatnot, breaking out the Korean, I think it was, or the Vietnamese, I'm not sure. But just the composure and the intelligence she showed there. Where was that guy in Born Again? He's this big meathead clown goober that doesn't know how to run his business.
Oh, what a waste.
Just a waste. Is that the theme of this episode? Just wasted opportunity?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's Miserable Monday. That's what we should call the podcast.
Pour one out for Kingpin because he's Cuckpin now. It's so terrible. We got Queenpin and Echo. We got the Cuckpin, but we haven't had Kingpin in years. It's crazy.
And then Kate Bishop beat him up as well. So he's been beaten up by a woman.
He should have died. He got shot in the face.
He got mind raped by Pocahontas.
The mind rape. Just be good, okay?
Well, this might be wasted potential too, because it might never even get fucking made. So who knows? But apparently, the script was being turned in today, so we'll see. But James Gunn says he's supposed to get the Batman 2 script this month, and that today. Actually, I talk to Matt Reeves all the time. People should get off Matt's nuts. Let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs. He doesn't owe you something because you like his movie. You like his movie because of Matt. So let Matt do his thing.
But could you make the same argument for George R. R. Martin, where he's
Yeah.
kind of like, it's only been 30 years. Get
People did.
over it.
People did. And Gary, what I love about Gary is his honesty about that subject, because he was one of the people defending George back in the day. And so then 10,000 years later, now he's counting the days since the last time he made his book. I think that's amazing. But you got to be honest, like when you make that switch, you know? Yeah, it's...
Well, it's if you keep promising and promising and promising and never deliver. If you just went, there's no Batman, if you just went, put it on ice, never talked about it, nothing, didn't promise a sequel, then you could surprise everyone with a nice, part 2's coming out. Mm-hmm. It's when you keep going, I'm going to release it this year. Oh, wait, no, it's going to come out next year. Oh, wait,
it's going to be a trilogy. Like, he's talked about that, so.
Yeah, just stop talking about it. Just
can we get
keep
the
it
movie
quiet until it's done.
Yeah. It's so true, man. I enjoyed the Batman enough to check out whatever they do for part 2, but don't tease it constantly. Like there's just this, I don't know, especially when you have the Penguin. The Penguin, in my opinion, was the best thing that ever happened to the Batman. It elevated the people's opinion on it. It made so many people go back and rewatch the Batman and anticipate the Batman part 2 even more now. And it bought them some time. And I feel like they're kind of squandering that by constantly mentioning it.
I haven't followed it that closely. Wasn't there supposed to be some fuckery with, like, there was already a script and James Gunn wanted it changed because it has, like, it needs to be more of his Batman than a Matt Reeves Batman? Is that something that's happened?
haven't heard that. James Gunn did say that Batman is his biggest headache because it's because of the fact that there's so many iterations that have been done. He feels like every Batman has been done. So he's like, what do you do that's different while also Matt Reeves's Batman exists? So he's like really confused.
I think Batman's one of the only superheroes that I could work with. That was my the Batman confirmed Batman as my favorite superhero. Where I'm down for so many iterations of this. Like, I don't ever want to see anyone play Logan. I'm kind of good. Like, Hugh Jackman nailed it. I'm down to see every interpretation of Batman until they get it right. There's still untapped potential with this character, in my opinion.
You say James Gunn's a liar, though. So, like, you can't trust anything he says.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing.
I'd be fine.
Tell Matt to hurry up and then tell him to leave him alone. It's like, which one is it, James? You hate him or do you like him?
He'll probably say something the opposite of this next week. Yeah, keep track of that, Gunn. That guy is not liking the ego he's displayed in recent years.
What was that article? He's lying down in black and white and he's got his fingers in a gun pose. I'm like, could you be more of a pretentious dickhead?
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's lying down and his fingers are like a pistol. And so it's, oh, what a wanker. I bet you tenner he tries to lick his own dick. He probably stretches every day trying to reach it. You probably walk into his office and he's lying on his back, pushing his ass towards him, trying to suck himself off.
Oh, fuck. I come back and everyone's laughing. I completely missed that. My headset died.
Reaper, you want to just go over it one more time?
What did I just miss?
I think he does. I think he stretches every day trying to lick the tip of his dick.
That sounds like James Gunn.
I think he could walk into his office and he's doing like a handstand, but he's trying to get it. He's trying to suck himself off.
Yoga. Remove his rib.
Yoga.
Oh,
the
God.
ball, he's just rolling back and forward, trying to get the motion to touch it.
Because it's just, you're describing his ego like perfectly. Like most directors, even famous ones like Tarantino, they're still humble enough to kind of stay out of the spotlight and make sure the focus is on the movie. The Superman's James Gunn meme is so legit because we're hearing more about this fucker than we are about Corn Sweat, which is a shame. I still don't feel like I've seen an interview with the kid. It's all about James Gunn.
And he seems like
it's part of a plan, though, right? I mean, it's one of the things he really needs to do is to try and draw as much like distinction between what he's making and the last 7-8 years of superhero films. It has to not be seen as another superhero movie because that will just kill it. I think it's why he's come out and criticized Marvel publicly several times in many interviews. I think it's why he's putting himself front and center as like the last guy to have made, with the exception of Deadpool, Wolverine, like a movie in the MCU that people at least for some reason liked. So I think he's making it all about himself, partly strategically. It's not just that he's a bit of an fully Shioist, though he definitely is. It's also that like he really wants this to be seen as something that's not another Marvel film, and it's
So, like
important
a
that they do
Nolan
that
film?
because
I think he's trying too hard to differentiate it, and like that's a
Well, you gotta
lot
back
to
it
be able
up.
to pull off. Yeah,
Like if Nolan earned his reputation, he made like The Dark Knight was $1 billion film, and that was like before the MCU came out.
but everybody forgets its little brother. Like Batman Begins is one of my
Is-
top 3 favorite horror. Oh, sorry, horror
Horror.
superhero movies. But actually, it's kind of horrifying. That scene where Cillian Murphy's tripping out and Batman's like melting. I remember
devil
watching that.
cat,
Like, this is
yeah.
a fucking Batman movie. What the hell is this?
But that's
I love that movie. I fucking love it. Nobody gives it enough credit.
the thing. But even Nolan, even his not good films, you at least get an interesting take.
Yeah.
Like Inception, Tenant's shit film, but the whole time going in 2 different directions, very unique. Everyone will show up to experience it. Whereas a James Gunn film, he's trying to build that mystique, but I just don't think he'll have it. It's just an ensemble of misfits getting together. You've done it every other time.
You're so right. Nolan explores unique concepts that you're always willing to go and check out because it's Nolan. Gunn does the same thing over and over again, but he does it well, and he thinks he can just do it for everything. And like I like Guardians, the first one, and I like The Suicide Squad. He does have a thing with characters. He knows how to make them likable, but you need more than that. He's got one trick, in my opinion.
Yeah. And we're getting a second. So we're getting 2 Batman. We're getting the Batman, and we're getting Batman and Robin.
Seriously?
Yeah, we're getting. But he's also Damian Wayne. So it's not Dick Grayson. It's not Jason Todd. It's not Tim Drake.
It's his son.
It's the 4th Robin.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
so they'll just exist. Nightwing and Red Hood, they'll all be out there.
I said earlier Batman's my favorite superhero. My least favorite superhero is fucking Robin. I've hated that dude forever.
Yeah, but Damian Wayne in the comic books and in the animated films actually too. So 2 for 2. He's a really cool character. I really like him. They had a Batman and Robin comic book that they're probably going to base it off of. Well, or the Brave and the Bold, I would imagine. But it's Damian's a cool character, and he's the only iteration of Robin I like also. I'm right there with you. Like, I don't like that character, but
I don't know enough about him definitively to say he's a bad character. I just say I don't like him because I feel like he weakens. The idea I have in my mind of Batman is a dude who doesn't want, a little sidekick like Rob. It ruins his aura for me. I like the Dark Knight, lone Avenger. This is my task. It doesn't even make sense to me that he would take the risk of putting, again, maybe it's way more written. I'm giving better written.
It'd be funny it'd be funny if he did it worse. He went, listen, Robin, you want to help me fight crime? He goes, yeah, I'm going to lure pedophiles with you. A lot of child predators are going to come for you. You're jailbait, Robin.
That's something fucked up that Batman might do. I would buy that more than
Robin's in like a pink dress. He's going, you who? And all the child molesters come at him. And then Batman jumps down and batters each one of them.
It's
the Savills from 28 years later, and they turn up.
They just start doing flips. Oh, God. I feel like we're going to be talking about the Savills for the rest of the year. Like, we'll be done talking about the movies, but that scene is going to live on in people's minds. People are saying Jesus Christ Reaper, but no, that's actually more in line with Batman. I'd rather see that shit, man.
It's just, Batman Peter Hunter. That's the TV series.
That would be a good idea for a vigilante show.
What's his face?
Don't they already do? They do those, don't they? Like, there's, I don't know if there's an actual TV show, but I know like you get like To Catch a Predator type Peter, like that. But it's all found footage. It's all on video camera, but it's Batman who shows up. That'd be quite fun.
He goes, Batman, why do I have to wear a dress? He goes, because it's attractive, Robin.
With the voice modulator and everything, yelling at him.
And then he keeps going shopping with him, and he goes, my son's transgender. He goes, no, I'm not. He's just luring me.
Smacks him in the head.
That's a good idea. He can lie, Robin's transgender, so he doesn't look like a creep when he buys him a dress.
We can all agree this will be better than The Dark Knight Rises, 100%.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
What you got next on the list?
Next on the list. No, not that way.
Wrong way, dude.
This way.
Red panty night. Let's go.
Yep, the red panties. Superman's currently tracking for 90 to 125 million at the domestic box office right now. For reference, I do believe Man of Steel in 2013 opened to like 113 million.
Oh God, no! Really? Restore the Snyderverse. It's more successful.
Yep.
What did that? What was the total of Man of Steel?
670 million.
That low?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
But isn't that sort of one of the funny things about Superman is that for as iconic a character as he is, he's not anything like the most successful superhero ever to put to screen. He's
made
not.
a billion.
Is he even a mid-ranking one? If you compare like all the many very lucrative Marvel films that have come out since, I mean, like he's instantly recognizable, but he doesn't seem to make much money.
Lower than
recognizable,
Guardian.
not profitable. 100%. I don't think a Superman movie has touched most of the things that the MCU's done. Batman, Spider-Man. Yeah, it's very strange that they're putting all their hopes for the superhero. Like the fact that the future of superhero movies depends on this guy and his panties. Like I don't fucking believe it.
I know,
He's
just
never
because
sort
he
of
is
drawn in.
well known, like just because he's a recognizable character to pretty much everyone doesn't mean he's interesting enough to people that they want to go see him. He makes less money than Guardians of the Galaxy. I think the average is like a couple hundred million lower.
He also has a translation problem because any superhero that flies around and has super strength is very difficult to get right in live action. Because I've never really seen a good fight between two guys flying. It never looks good. Even Shazam.
There's one sequence in Man of Steel that's actually pretty awesome, where they're kind of showing from behind with the punch. I do rate that one sequence, but the rest of the movie is kind of iffy in terms of the action.
Like when he's throwing Zod between all these buildings and killing millions of people.
You have to ignore all that. You have to ignore the genocide. I'm talking about just the choreography of the shot. You don't think about anything in Man of Steel, but there's one sequence that I think is like, yeah, that's actually you can do flying fights. They just botch them every time because you immediately think of Agent Smith and fucking Revolution doing that stupid pose, the Dragon Ball Z fight. Holy shit.
Hulk was quite an entertaining fight, despite the fact he breaks a lot of the he's jumping around buildings, he's smashing into stuff. But I suppose Hulk's not really fighting one-on-one. He's kind of smashing CGI bad guys, little drones. Whereas I don't know if you can actually have, because he had a normal-ish fight with Thanos, didn't he?
Yeah. It was one of I do love that fight
which was grounded and obviously like he wasn't jumping around flying all over the place. But I mean, I get what you mean. He's like more often, well, almost in every time that the Hulk is involved in the fight, he is just like unleashing the rage monster. It's not a fight; it's like a massacre. It's designed to look impressive, not necessarily tense, which you want from fights between two heroes. You get obviously the fight between Hulk and Tony Stark, and is it the Hulkbuster armor set for Iron Man? Which I think worked for what it was. It wasn't the most gripping thing in the world, but it didn't look cringe and embarrassing. But when you want, two, like ideally your main hero and your main villain on a one-on-one fight, it is difficult to pull off if they are both hyper powerful. I'm thinking stuff like Black Panther, the weightless CGI final fight, and that was.
And they can't even hurt each other; they're just regenerating. It's terrible. But but that's why when you're gonna do those, you have to like make it a character thing. Like when Thor fought Iron Man and Cap broke it up, we got to see how Tony's power suit can be powered up by Thor. Basically, he's a counter to Thor. You saw how strong Thor is with the hammer. We basically got character moments out of it rather than just making it a nonsense scene.
The only thing I can think of is like if you do like a flash fight and they don't speed up, everything just slows down and like they're moving normally. I think that's the only kind of way you can do it with Superman, where you punch a guy, you move across the map to a new location, you then go everything slows down, but you're moving dead fast. It looks normal from your perspective. Then you just kind of have a bit of a normal fight. I think that's kind of the only way you can do it.
Difficult to be able to shoot that. You have to really nail that. It's the biggest thing.
Well, it's the moving between scenes. Like he punches him, he flies. That's all CGI. But then you move to a new location and it's more grounded. I think that's kind of the only way you can get away with it.
Yeah, something like that. They'd have to fix that out. You know, you guys made me just realize, just through random this conversation, Hulk lost every single 1v1 fight, the Tony one, the Thor one, and the Thanos one. He never won a fight. He just got his ass whooped for 10 years.
Dude, fighting's literally what he's all about.
That's all he does. He never won a fight. It just occurred to me. The only time he won is people who can't defend themselves. Like,
He'll lose against the Thing as well.
100%, man. He lost to
Just
She-Hulk
why-
too. 4. Oh god.
That's why he's become a nerd. He's like, I don't want to fight anymore. I just want to read books.
Yeah. What a waste of flesh. Green
God.
flesh.
They'd have
On the,
him lose the powerless
Green
Professor
flesh.
X.
Such sucks.
Do we have an equivalent opening prediction for like Fantastic Four and Jurassic World Dominion?
I haven't
fucking
seen one
Afterbirth
yet.
No, because I'm wondering whether this is like it seems like it's a reasonably high number, though I think it's lower than it was a few weeks ago. And obviously
It's
90
just
to
crazy
125
to
is a big spread.
see these numbers when you think about the inflation and just how fewer amount. Like it's so fewer people go to the movies. Like 90 to 125 million. So if it lands at, so I looked it up, and Man of Steel was 116 million in 2013. So with 12 years of inflation, that's just crazy. I think Dave L also did some research, and he said like Man of Steel today would be almost $1 billion worldwide. This isn't even going to come close to that. So
I don't think so.
it's just so disheartening.
It's competing with Fantastic Four. I don't even think it's there. Like Jurassic World is gonna just dominate. So that's up here, and these two are competing for the second spot, is what I feel like. I'm not really sure. I think this isn't going to be affected by Marvel fatigue specifically, and Fantastic Four might be, because Fantastic Four is dealing with Pedro fatigue and Marvel fatigue. I don't know if that you're going to be able to get over that. Where this has some fresh elements to it, I just couldn't care less.
There's fresh elements to it, but on the other hand, it's a character that doesn't perform particularly well whenever he's trotted out. It's a universe that it's got the DC label still attached to it. I don't know how well they've managed to sever themselves from their past failings. Nobody really necessarily knows that they want to be invested in this story, and it is competing with something which probably has a higher degree of latent interest, in the sense that there are more people alive today who remember when Marvel was good than who really remember the last time you had a good Superman movie.
That's a good point.
I was trying to look at the comparatives. Obviously, they're a bit they'll always be a bit shaky this far out, but apparently from box office theory anyway, the Jurassic World Rebirths opening prediction is between 116 and 135, which suggests stats higher, and Fantastic Four is 125 to 136, which means that maybe Superman is the loser of all three, if that does.
I think it is. I think Jurassic World's the winner, and I think
100%
Fantastic Four second, and this is a distant third.
Someone made a comment of saying Superman was built for like an older generation, doesn't really work in modern times. In addition to that, do you think characters like Homelander make it harder for character like Superman to even exist nowadays when he's parodied so effectively? Yeah, I think Homelander ruined Superman.
Omni-Man as well.
Omni-Man as well, because they're all way more interesting. Homelander and Omni-Man is more interesting than Superman. I'm sorry, Goku is more interesting than Superman. I've always felt that.
It's what you do with Superman. The problem is we haven't had anything from Superman. In fact, we've had the opposite. They tried to turn Superman into Homelander. When he's fighting Zod, he kills God knows how many people, and he doesn't give a fuck. And he keeps trying to make him like a Jesus allegory. He's not a Jesus allegory. In fact, he's incredibly human. You know, he's an alien. But it's this whole thing of just people who actually understand Superman and can draw the best out of him have not been writing him. It's people like James Gunn doesn't respect Superman, because when he was told, he basically went, Superman's all about seeing the goodness in people, and I see that too. And I'm like, I've seen your work. You don't believe that. You hate most people. You're quite a petty person. But that's the type of thing is the things that people find interesting about Superman you're not getting from people like James Gunn.
Yeah.
But he's the only one delivering. Or Zack Snyder, who also doesn't understand Superman. Or Batman, for that instance. He had him murdering people.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible. You're right, man. A lot of them just don't understand what they're dealing with. And I think one of the best interpretations of Superman, at least the one that caught my eye, was Smallville. Because I feel like Clark Kent and his journey growing up with this situation, basically being an alien. I find that so much more interesting than him being a superhero fighting crime, because at that point, what's the challenge? He's unstoppable. Clark Kent is way more interesting than Superman.
There's an animated film called Superman versus the Elite, and it's basically about traditional heroism versus the 90s anti-hero phase. And the whole thing is, yeah, it's a phase. Everyone likes the anti-hero stuff, but people will always return to that good old-fashioned traditional heroism. There's something always inspirational about it that touches children, not literally, that touches children. Yeah, it appeals to something in kids and like the child in people. That's what I meant to say, not
the Toby scene. Tobey Maguire made his entire career with the grimace on the train in Spider-Man 2, saving all those people. The screaming and the performance. From like, that is heroism in a nutshell, right there. One of the best superhero fights to this day, him versus Dr. Octopus, and then literally almost ripping out his deltoids to save these people and passing out it's one of the best superhero scenes ever made, and that represents it right there, because you get the entire scene of them picking him up and like protecting him. It's just, they nailed it. They understand the wholesome aspect of it. That's why I like to refer to that era as the wholesome era, where they just really understood the heart behind superheroes. Now it's just been stripped down, and like, we got fucking Red Panty Man in an era that does not work anymore. You can't do Superman anymore when we have Omni-Man and Homelander and all these other characters that have used this concept in a more interesting way.
Well, look at what people have said. Oh, wow.
Oh, shit. He's out.
But people have said, oh, look, he saved someone. That's how little Superman has saved people. People actually pointing that out like it's a special thing.
It should be the default. It shouldn't be something we're praising them for.
Yeah, he's been murdering people for fucking God knows how long, doing something. It's that type of thing. He's being rewarded for the base level of standard that should be applied to a superhero, which is being heroic.
I fucking hate that. Like films nowadays, people say, like, oh, it wasn't woke, so it was good. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? A baseline of quality is what should matter most.
Yeah, I said before, you can always do it. Even him having godlike powers, he does fight people on the level, like Doomsday, Darkseid, Brainiac. Even if you think he's too overpowered, you can still get aliens on his level, or you can weaken him with kryptonite. That's how Lex Luthor fights him.
Well, the solution is generally, I've mentioned this a million times, but it feels repeating. You make them late to fights. That's how they deal with Goku and Neo. Consistently just make them late. Or you have to give them a task. Like, they have to, like, their family, or like the sadistic choice. Are you going to save your mom? Or are you going to save your girlfriend? That type of thing. You have to play with those elements. But I don't know. They forget. They totally forget that most of the time.
Did anyone see the newest trailer? It said strength, but it's him screaming, going, I love, I care, that's what makes me human. I'm like going,
oh no.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds really bad.
You shouldn't say that. That's not something you say. That's something we're supposed to interpret it. I'm like, this is what makes me human. Are you listening, audience? Like, what?
It's just telling you that's just what the film's going to be about. I bet that's probably coming right near the end of the film as well. So you already know what it's going to be. It's just going to be, he has a few troubles. He gets told off by a nagging woman. He gets a villain saying, you're an evil alien. And then he says, no, I'm not. I'm human. And then he wins.
Oh,
well, he says, that's what because he says, that's what they get wrong about me. I love and I cry and I do these things. It's like, is that, is that in response to the Twitter making fun of him? Because isn't that a part of the story? Like, people online call him super shit.
It might be that. It's also, I think, might be partly a way to try and get around the problems that a lot of us have with the character, that impression that he is just disinteresting because he is otherworldly strong. Like, you can't do interesting things with the character. I think it is not an uncommon sentiment, though you can do interesting things, but because he is like unstoppable, it makes him seem, from going in, like there's not going to be a huge amount of drama involved. So by trying to tell the audience that his real strength is how human and therefore flawed and vulnerable he is, it might be a way to try and convince people that they're in for something more interesting than they thought they were.
But he's screaming it. Like, he's going, I am strong because I'm weak. It's like, that makes you so much more emotionally unstable. I don't trust a guy who cries and flies off the handle.
I don't believe that, like, him being overpowered means that he can't be interesting. I just make it creates it a more difficult task, because I always compare him and Goku as like they're basically aliens. They came to Earth, and what makes Goku way more interesting instantly is just they understood making him a father for one, making him a husband, his dynamic with his friends, and most importantly that he comes from a race of like a warrior alien race, the Saiyans, and he's just a dude. He's just like some dude, but he's the strongest one, which makes his conflict with Vegeta so much more interesting because he's the actual prince who should feel like he's entitled to be way more capable than this person. But Goku, just through sheer effort and work ethic, as always surpasses him. I find that way more interesting than than anything they've ever done with Superman, when they essentially are the same character, just an alien who grew up on Earth. They just didn't do much with Superman. I know I don't. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but
the Justice League animated show did. They did really good things with them. It's just, I said before, it's all about how you do the character.
Yes, that's exactly.
And we just don't have people who like Superman writing them.
I feel like there's an interpretation of Superman out there that I just probably haven't seen that's good, but the most of the ones that have been made public are just crap. Like, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't good.
Yeah.
As usual, we jumped out of order. You know?
it is. Hey, Homelander, I brought him up.
Hey, hey,
that fucker.
So the final season is reportedly wrapped filming. It's expected next year.
It's still going. Like,
Does anyone know how season 4 ends?
Nope.
So through a lot of retardation I can't explain in one sitting, Superman, Homelander, sorry, he manages to again, for a lot of stupid stuff, he manages to take control. He managed of a senator. The senator is basically president. He then declares martial law over America. He's basically in the White House. And then a bunch of the people get arrested. Huey gets arrested. Mother's Milk, I think, gets arrested. So does the female and Frenchie. But Starlight, whose powers for some reason turn on and off, and there's no real explanation, turn off, turn back on, and she flies off.
Huh.
So that's kind of how it ends. And then I think Butcher is like, he gets superpowers.
Oh,
but there's like a parasite in him. At first he has laser eyes, but then and it says, oh no, it's killing you. But then it's like, oh no, you've accepted your toxic masculine side, and that's a parasite that stabs people now. Comes out of him and stabs people.
Why?
Toxic masculinity comes out of him and stabs people.
It manifests as a parasite, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, like they're making a deal with the senator, and somehow he shows up. I don't know how he got the information. I don't know. No one told him. He just gets there and he just goes, and his parasite comes out and rips it to pieces.
Why the
These
fuck did they do this to this show, man?
They introduced
ruined Billy Butcher, you telling me?
The world's smartest character, who's this Black Panther woman, and all she ever does, she goes, yeah, we women are gotta fight and take for ourselves because men won't give it to us. But her grand plan is to go into a room full of men and beg for help. He goes, listen, powerful men, can you please give us some help?
Oh, God, they can't even be consistent with their own message.
And that's the thing as well. It's her plan. She goes, all of this was part of my plan, but it relies on things she couldn't possibly know and factor in people she didn't, like, things you couldn't predict. Like, she goes, haha, I knew the senator was just going to randomly confess to Starlight that he intended to kill another senator, even though I had no idea this was possible, and I wasn't there, and nothing I did contributed to that factor. It all relies on, like, chance and circumstance. It, honest to God, it's like Bran the Broken. You know when Bran goes, why do you think I'm here? That's her plan. She, at the very end of it, she goes, why do you think all this was part of my plan? And you go, you killed innocent people for no reason. Oh my God, my brain. There's a bit where they have a superhero, and for some reason, A-Train's the traitor, and for some reason, she lets A-Train slip information that hurts Homelander and blames someone else. And there's no point to it. A guy on Homelander's team, an innocent guy, gets killed. And she goes, haha, I knew. But it doesn't factor into her plans. It's pointless. It's utterly pointless. In fact, it gets the boys alerted onto it.
What did they do to this fucking show, man?
I'm starting to remember.
Do you remember in season 1? Do you remember season 1, the whole plot line with Starlight getting raped, like, was a significant thing, and like everyone was on board with how terrible it was?
Oh.
Didn't they rape Huey and like make a joke out of it? Like,
that's
what the fuck?
He has to pretend to be a Spider-Man knockoff, but he goes to a BDSM dungeon, and he make him sit on cake, and he make him get his ass out, and he starts slapping him, and they're going, "Oh, how funny is this?" When not really, it's not funny at all. It's kind of like you want to raping a woman is bad, but then raping a guy, they're like, "Ha ha, he's about to get a drill in his ass."
The double standards is crazy.
Oh, I'll make a review about it. There's so much I forgot. It's all starting to come back to me. It's so bad. I said, like his powers turn on and off. Like Huey's crawling in a vent. Homelander can't hear him roaming around. But then when Huey sweats, a drop of his sweat falls on the ground. So Homelander can hear that. Can't hear him crawling through the vent, lasers the vent. Huey somehow teleports out the vent and goes, "Oh, I don't know where he is. He's in the building. Just kill him."
Stupid. So they're still 2 seasons later, they're still turning his powers on and off like a light switch.
That's God, with Starlight as well.
That's so frustrating. It's the simplest thing to get right in a superhero show. Literally, you should have a Bible for each character in terms of the rules around their powers. How can you contradict yourself that blatantly, especially with one of your main characters, Homelander? It ruins his whole character. The whole premise is just screwed up, man. Like I definitely have a hate boner for the boys. It was like I said earlier, it's like a mini Arcane for me in terms of loving season 1 and then despising season 2. Like what?
Well, this is the thing. I keep liking Homelander because everyone else is so horrible. The heroes are objectively bad people. So if everyone's a bad person, I might as well root for the one guy who's entertaining, which is Anthony Starr.
Yeah,
why shouldn't I? Because everyone else is an asshole.
So much presence, and it's a shame because I think I think Billy Butcher was awesome in season 1. They just pissed away his character lately.
Well, his whole point was to learn that toxic masculinity was bad, and then eventually he gives into it, and now he's a parasite man.
I don't know.
That's exactly what happened.
I don't know how it's gotten this long. I thought the novelty would have worn off real quick, especially after season 2 for people. Like I'm genuinely surprised.
Is there still a sizable contingent of people who ignore the show when it tells them that Homelander is a villain, and so they still like him? Ironically,
yeah. They keep saying, "Why does everyone root for him?" Eric Kripke is on record going, "That makes me scared. People idolize Homelander." I'm like, because he's funny.
Because he's entertaining you. It's so stupid. That's such a stupid mentality. Like they don't understand the idea of a heel. Like I've never even watched Buffy, but I know the Spike character was supposed to not be liked, but then he was super popular and he became like a main component. It's you see it in sports. Like people, you could be a terrible person, but if you're entertaining and you get butts and seats, that's one of the biggest things. And how do you not understand that as a creative? Like he's not good. How could you like him? You should only like good characters who do good things and pay their bills on time and do this and this. No, it's insane. What are you fucking talking about, bro? People liked flawed individuals. People liked realistic portrayals, even if it's of evil people. Homelander is super entertaining.
But you keep making him more sympathetic. Like he finds out that they purposely would manipulate him and make him scared of violence. And the only way not violence, they make him pre-programmed to need attention because it was the only way to control someone that powerful. So he's been fucked with his whole life, kept in a cage. And it's like, why do you root for him? Because he's a victim. He's as much of a victim as everyone else. But also, he's funny. And he's hilarious.
You're so right. The most potent moments with Homelander were those shots of him in the laboratory as a kid. And like really sick. This guy had a fucked up childhood. You actually really felt something when you saw those. They never got back to that, did they? They just turned him into like meme man, pretty much.
Well, I say occasionally they'll bring more stuff up, but he does cool stuff. Like he goes to the scientist who tortured them and he kills all of them. And he leaves the head scientist in the room with their dead bodies and just traps her there. He goes, there you go. That's it.
Well, that's the payoff. There you go. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I just feel like I wanted so much more out of his character.
But they ruined Huey. They ruined Huey and Starlight. Like Starlight is a cunt.
She got obliterated in season 2. What do you mean? When she fucking killed that guy, they literally could have she could have done anything to de-escalate the situation, and she just fucking blasted the dude. And Butcher is cool with it. It's so insane. Her whole point is about saving the innocents, and they fucking murder an innocent man in the street in season 2, and just fucking scoff off of it. Like, she got obliterated in season 2. So
they blow up the guy's head, that just gets ignored. When Homelander kills someone, he just goes, politics, he wins, no problem. He just fucking executed someone in the street. But we said the politics is so bad. even if it's like a pro, like lefty liberal kind of thing, it makes them look terrible because they're so lacking of any self-awareness. Like, they look insane, the Starlighters.
It's why the show was quite popular, I think, in the first season at least, maybe even up to the first 2 seasons, is that it did a reasonably good job at appearing more even-handed than it probably was, in the sense that it wasn't afraid to take the occasional pot shot at a typical sort of progressive shibboleth. Like anti-police protests were not portrayed as being just like unquestionably right all the time, for example. And I think that probably got a lot of people on board with it. It does sound like it's it's given up on the pretense of balance, I guess.
Well, it does the problem is, what I think is, it was always going, oh, you're just pretending to be woke. We're the real woke. I think that's what it's always actually been. It's like,
Yeah.
it hates people who pretend to be for the pride parades because you're not really for the pride parades. So I think
Yeah.
that's why it's actually even more left wing than
They
people
made fun
thought
of
it was.
they made fun of the girls do it better fucking Endgame scene, and then they did their own girls do get it done scene at the end. Like, you can't make fun of it
Yeah.
and then do the thing. Like, you just, what the hell were you thinking with that? What a way to
they-
ruin 3 interesting characters instantly.
It just relies on over-the-top violence and gore. If you take away the gore and violence and the CGI and shit, and you just have the plot, you have unlikable characters besides Homelander. You have a really stupid plot. Like, fucking, the boys are retarded, yet they keep getting saved via plot armor. And like the CIA should just murder them. They've caused so much problems, and they go, we're going to hire you for a specific unit, but we're not going to oversee you. We're not going to help you. We're not going to do anything. I'm like, why? Put them in prison. They're fucking useless.
So world building is fucked too as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll do a review. I'll do a pro before season 5 comes out, because there's so much I wrote down and I never got to.
I just remember thinking Vought was a real organization in season 1 when that blonde lady was in charge, and then she died and the world building went to shit. Suddenly Huey Campbell can break into Vought Enterprises. It doesn't make any sense. So it's The Boys is like, for anyone who's still a fan of the show, anyone who's still holding on, it's like a clear example of a show that lost its vision completely and became a joke, like a shell of its former self. Like, it sucks.
Well, it did what all things do. It pretended to be a bit more even-handed. When it got its success, its true colors came out.
Yeah.
You know, like new Bond. The new Bond will try to, because who is the new Bond frontrunner? It's the guy from Lanterns, isn't it?
I'd heard is it Aaron Taylor Johnson? Is he the one, or is it a different?
No, it's
guy?
the black guy from Lanterns, the upcoming
Really?
Lantern show.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got a gay face. That's all I can say about him. He's very he's weird because he's 6'3", he's big, but he looks like he's got very feminine features. I'm like, that's not Bond.
I'd be really surprised if they went with him. I mean, it's like, surely at some point the penny has to drop. You don't go for an unsafe pick for Bond. It didn't even Jeff Bezos even put a poll out on his own Twitter account saying who should be our next Bond, and Henry Cavill was like the audience's hands down favorite. I'd be really surprised if it was more than a rumor.
But how many times have we said to them, do this, and they ignore us? They never listen to it. In fact, that was probably him going, who will I never be? Who will I never pick as Bond because you like him? That was the actual poll.
It's such an easy pick, especially when you consider, you know, the run he had with Superman, the run he had with The Witcher. He nailed the look for both of those characters. Give him a second, throw him a bone with Bond. Like, I really think that guy needs a win, man. He's got so much love. He's got so much of the love of the fan base, and that's not something that they can leverage into making their films. It's a mistake from a business side. Everything.
It's Amazon owned at this point. Amazon owns MGM now. Amazon has like given Cavill a couple of these. The Warhammer thing that's coming up, and there's something else that's coming up. These are all Amazon productions. Highlander. That's still happening, isn't it? Highlander?
I thought it got cancelled. I'll double check.
I thought they just announced that what's his name? Russell Crowe is playing Sean Connery.
Oh, then no. That was something else. Never mind. That was the game.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. There might have been another one, but the point being, like, you know, Amazon has they have an incredibly popular guy who could basically be their in-house actor for anything they really, really want to be successful with the audience. They own all these properties. They own Bond. Cavill is the guy they've picked for loads of other stuff. it would just make sense. Just give him the role. Make him synonymous with your brand, and your brand will only benefit from that.
But they don't want to. They will burn the house down just to get us because we like something. They'll destroy it.
Yeah,
We've been doing it for like fucking 10 years. I don't think they know how. I don't think they know how to please the audience anymore because they've just been given blank checks to rape franchises.
It's a complete disconnection. If you can't understand how much the audience loves Cavill, you shouldn't be in that position. Where are the people that are crunching the numbers and just understanding like the business side of this? It's a safe pick for Bond. People love him, and he has the potential. I just don't get it, man. Their thought process is completely out of the way. It's fucked up.
Oh, when are we ever gonna get so
Hey.
good?
Talking about a fantastic movie. Here we go.
The final slide for the evening is Steven Spielberg's Jaws was released 50 years ago today. Well, that was a couple days ago, but 50 years ago.
Close enough. Close enough. You want me to do the facts? I grabbed a couple facts about the movie.
Yeah,
first,
man.
Do that first.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So for anyone who hasn't seen Jaws, what the fuck are you doing watching the show? Go cut this stream and go watch Jaws. It's
I'm
one of
going
the
to get the facts. He says, if you haven't seen Jaws, you're gay.
Yes, you're fucking gay. You're flaming. You're gayer than a rainbow if you haven't seen Jaws. But here's a couple interesting facts about Jaws. The budget was overrun. The initial budget was 3.5 million, but due to various production issues, it was ballooned to 9 million. The casting, many actors were considered for the lead role, including Charlton Heston for Brody, but Spielberg ultimately went with lesser-known actors to keep the focus on the story. The popularity of Jaws contributed to the creation of Discovery Channel's Shark Week, the programming.
Shark Week.
Yep. The film grossed over 170 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing film of all time until Star Wars was released in 1977. The use of underwater POV shots was revolutionary at the time and has influenced countless films since. There was notable tension between Robert Shaw, the actor for Quinn, and Richard Dreyfuss, the actor for Hooper, on set, which added to the authenticity of their characters' strained relationship. I really did notice that. They seemed like they fucking hate each other, and I love that was real. The real life inspiration for the character Quint who's played by Robert Shaw, was inspired by a real life shark hunter. The mechanical sharks were notorious for malfunctioning, leading to a significant delays in the budget being overrun, and this forced Spielberg to rely on more suspense, which ultimately led to like adding to the tension of the film. The fact that you barely see the shark. It won 3 Academy Awards: Best Film Editing, Best Original Dramatic Score, and Best Sound. There's also a reference to James Bond. We were just talking about him. When Hooper and Brody cut the shark license plate, when they get the license plate out of the shark, it's the setting and the release year for Live and Let Die, and the register begins with 007. So it's like an overt reference for James Bond. Jaws is based on Peter Benchley's 1974 novel of the same name, which is inspired by a series of shark attacks in New Jersey. And Peter Benchley also had a cameo. He was the news reporter on the beach. Spielberg also had a brief audio cameo as the voice of the radio talking to Quint at the Amity Point Life Station. And then the final one, which I thought was most interesting, is there were a lot of things changed from the movie from the book. One of them being Hooper has an affair with Brody's wife and is killed by the shark as he goes down in the cage. Spielberg thought this plot was unnecessary and made Hooper unlikable and removed it from the movie. Good fucking choice.
Yep.
In the movie, Mayor Vaughn wants the beaches to remain open purely for financial reasons, but in the book, it's because he's influenced by the mafia, basically trying to keep them up. And so, like, there was a little bit of a different aspect to it. That's a simple change. It doesn't do too much. But the death of the shark, where in the movie Brody shoots the gas canister in the shark's mouth, causing it to explode. It's very different in the book. In the book, it dies from exhaustion, succumbing to its many wounds. Spielberg thought this was anticlimactic, so he devised a more interesting ending. And Benchley was so unhappy that he had to be escorted off set after loudly voicing his disapproval to Spielberg. You motherfucker! It dies from exhaustion, you bitch! Don't blow up my shark. I want to see that scene. So there you go. Jaws is awesome, and the facts behind it are interesting too.
Also, how many sharks have been murdered because of this movie?
yes. This I didn't put this on my list, but beach attendance was way down after this movie. Like 100%. Yeah.
It had the opposite effect of me. I just wanted to go and live on Amity Island. It's a lovely place, but it's just an excellent film. It's like it is Spielberg at his best. You know, it's an approach that he takes it with Jurassic Park as well. And I think Jurassic Park is a stronger book than the book for Jaws is. But the same kind of approach is there in the sense that Spielberg takes what could be quite a dry but scientifically more procedurally accurate story and then adds character to it, makes it instantly like memorable. It's not a monster story. It's a story about the people facing the monster. It's like infinitely rewatchable. It's a really, really great film.
So good. That last the hour of them on the boat is like I can watch that like every day. Like it's the type of thing. If it's just on, I'm not gonna skip it. I love the character dynamic. I love it all.
And the practical effect with the shark, where it's just on the boat, and that looks so much better than anything CGI I've seen.
I know, I know.
And he's falling into the mat. Yeah, it looks so good.
I was so scared for Quint. I'm freaking out. Like, kick that thing, kick. Come on, man, kick. Jesus, such a good scene. Apparently, that was the most difficult shot to film, the Quint death.
I think Steven Spielberg said, "If my advice is never film in the sea again."
Well, based on Jaws and the Abyss, water is a bitch to film around. Like, if you watch the production issues of the Abyss, it's incredible all the issues that they went through.
Didn't James Cameron nearly drown because he was filming and then his oxygen tank was running low and some guy tried to swim up. Some guy thought he was panicking and then he punched the guy in the face so he let go of him.
Yeah, there's some stories. There's I can't remember which one, but someone almost drowned and he immediately came out and he swung it, either punched James Cameron in the face or tried to. There's so much drama on the set of the Abyss. It's incredible.
Was it Ed Harris? Ed Harris cried in his car, and when he asked him what happened, he basically went, "I never want to talk about that movie ever."
Yeah.
Doesn't even want to talk about how bad. And like, apparently, the first pool they did filled with algae. So the second pool they did, they poured tons and tons of chlorine. Chlorine. I was gonna say cholesterol.
Chlorine, and it burned everyone's eyes and fucked people up. The scene with the ladies getting the CPR scene where the lady's getting slapped and Ed Harris goes to slap her back to life. They made them reshoot that all day. He literally slapped that chick all fucking afternoon.
And she was apparently freezing. They were all dying.
Freezing to death, hypothermia, getting slapped all day. Like, wow. I hope she got like, oh man, it's crazy.
No, they all just went, "Fuck this. I never want to talk about this movie ever."
To this day, really? Wow.
Well, I think he cried in the car. I think people are saying like he had a breakdown. He just hated the movie. But James Cameron apparently is quite a tyrant on a lot of his early films. Is it Alien 2 he did? Was it where
Aliens, yeah.
Apparently he was in England and he had a big fight with the staff because they all went tea time and they all just stopped working.
Yes,
and just
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, if you don't have that same like vicious mentality about getting this done in terms of creative aspect, I don't care what your mandates are. You're not the crew for me. Like skipping breaks is a sign of work ethic to me. Like, there's time.
I think it was more they were doing it purely because he was being they hated them. So
no, it was mandates. It was like their union. Like, this is the way they always operate, type of thing. Yeah.
We just have it was literally you'd be mid-scene and people would go, "Right, tea time," and it just drop all the stuff and start drinking.
Not on my watch. I'd be firing people left and right.
Yeah. You have to be a bit of an ass. You can't do that. No. You can't.
You have to be willing.
Yeah, well, there's too many there's too many health and safety things. There's too many Me Too accusations. Like, you like that slapping that girl, Ed Harris would be in jail.
100%.
If it was nowadays.
But that's what we need. Like, even the girls in The Descent, they were freezing their ass off down there and they were willing to really grit through all of it. And like, I want to see that sacrifice and people getting injured for a shot, but they want to, that's the shot that works, so we keep it in, like, I love hearing about all that. Now everything is so soft and sanitized. Fuck all that.
Yeah. So many rules and regulations, that's the thing. And it's why the cost has skyrocketed. It's why everyone has to go abroad. They all have to come to the UK or Hungary or like Georgia. Ugh.
I don't know. It's the different mentality that these creators have for certain things. Like, I always mention Peter Jackson making the Hobbits live together for like 4 or 6 months before filming, so they have like a camaraderie. Little details like that you're never going to see again.
he just had the 4 little midgets with him before everyone else. He went, "Come, little hobbits." He just had them by himself.
It's smart though. Like the camaraderie with Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo is the beginning of the Shire. Like they gets the adventure story kicked off. Like their dynamic is really, it works really well, very quickly. And I think the decision to make them actually bond before is a part of it. Yeah, it's I'm reminded of the Descent where the crew was miserable during filming, but they kept pushing because they believed in it. They believed in the project, the creative vision. They know what they created in the end. That's what I want to see, man. Your broken arm, scene looked great.
Sometimes you have the worst stories, which is, what's that stunt actress? She lost her arm filming one of the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, Jesus.
Someone died filming Batwoman. Like, you're going to die for that project?
For Batwoman, God.
Like, if you lost a few people for Lord of the Rings, it was a good cause, right? But for Batwoman, you know?
Yeah, I died, and it was for Batwoman.
Yeah. One of the worst projects the world has ever seen. Oh, God.
TGB Monster, as always, kicks us off with our super chats today for $5. Though 28 years later really could use more potato lesbians, somehow the infected are less horrifying than Bella Ramsey's face.
Oh, poor Bella. Her career is so fucked after this show.
She's like a used condom.
Everyone loved her, and yeah, but just I don't think I've seen a situation like Rachel Zegler was hated from the beginning. Everyone adored Bella Ramsey in Game of Thrones, loved her. Now we all hate her. It's man, crazy.
What is it? Die a hero, live long enough to become the villain.
Yes, I don't think a movie quote has ever aged so well. I fucking love that quote.
Winter GS says, "Greetings, smooth talkers. Do you all think that what we consider now as being good is because the bar is so low, or are there definitely good things? Reaper, you're my spirit."
I mean, it would depend on what is being discussed, right? I mean, the old good things are good, irrespective of the modern bar being so low. The bar being so low makes some recent average things look better. I think it's one of the reasons Thunderbolts was temporarily popular.
People are more willing to accept low quality shit. For example, Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank Redemption were in the theaters all at the same time. So when you get used to high quality movies like that being the norm, then yeah, that's one thing. But now the norm is low quality movies, and when we get something fantastic, it's shocking. So like people's standards are just lower. Their idea for storytelling quality is lower.
Like, what was the last film you left the theater going, that was awesome?
-1.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Top Gun was good.
There was a lady crying during -1. I think I came here for a giant lizard. I wasn't expecting emotions and legit tension and family drama.
When were they? Weren't they 2020 and 2021?
No, that was 22 and 23.
Oh, was it? I thought one came out in COVID.
No.
I thought it was Maverick.
Well, you know what a good sign of a movie really affecting you? When you purposely don't rewatch it for a long time to try to get that experience back. Like, I haven't touched -1 ever since, because I want, if I can get an eighth of that experience of my first watch, I want that for sure. I love that movie. I think -1 and Jaws might be some of my favorite horror movies. I like the scene where they're paying homage to Jaws as well. I keep saying horror movies. I keep calling everything horror movies tonight. Monster movies, monster films. Jaws and -1. There's two of the top tier ones.
Jeremy Soden, there's only one season of Arcane. Rumors of a second season are vile lies.
I wish that were true.
So do I.
I'm gonna watch it tonight with popcorn.
Wait, so you've never seen season
You'll love
1?
it. You will find it very. Yeah, season 1's really good, but you will get lots of entertainment out of season 2. Especially random
great.
Extended prison lesbian sex scene. That's
I think that's it.
Oh, God.
I like season 1. I like season 1, but I think what's good is I know season 2 is a piece of shit, so I'm just gonna enjoy it for the car crash.
No, you won't. You won't. All the music, you'll be after the 17th music video, and you see that Vi is retarded. You'll completely lose faith in it. It's just Vi. I loved Vi in season 1. I made a video breaking down her fight with Sabika. I thought they were fucking awesome. Her dynamic with Jinx, their whole history, and none of that is relevant in season 2. She's a completely different character who just wants to eat Caitlyn's ass. That's her only motive.
Well, I'm enjoying Handmaid's Tale for how bad it is, and it's that type of thing when you completely detach yourself, you can see the politics of the writers behind it, and that's what I kind of enjoy. Going, oh, this person made this choice for this reason because he's a twat. That's my sick pleasure.
Sometimes you can get something salvaged through that, but with Arcane, it would just be frustrating. I think you'll be frustrated about all the changes. Like superficially, I enjoyed one scene in terms of action. There's a Warwick scene that's like a werewolf in heavy metal. It's hard not to have fun with something like that. Like, come on. But other than that, I didn't feel anything for.
Did you enjoy She-Hulk from a political kind of look how bad this is?
Bro, I gave up after the wedding episode. I tapped. That's one of the few shows I just tapped out on. Of like, what are we doing? You got to remember, She-Hulk came out with the Rings of Power and House of the Dragon and Andor. So that was like the strangest month of my life in terms of media. Like, what? We have a good Star Wars show. We have a good Game of Thrones show. We have the stupidest Lord of the Rings show I've ever fucking seen in my life. And then we have She-Hulk in between all this. Like, is this a dream? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, that was a bad time.
That was a strange, but no, being able to compare House of the Dragon versus Rings of Power side by side is one of my favorite things that has ever happened to me in terms of a TV show fan. Like, here's how it's done right. Here's how you do it fucking horribly. Like, just look at the difference. You can't ignore it. And one is like half the budget or some shit, right? So one of the major things for it.
Yeah, one's 200 million, one's $1 billion.
Yes. And it still looks better. How do you have the dragons that look phenomenal in House of the Dragon, and then you have the fucking bullshit that you have in the Rings of Power, the plastic orcs and all the crap?
Who knows?
Hey, Platoon, you want to read this one?
Kim Schwartzbach for 20 Donkey Kongs. BSUP is integral to start my week. Take it away. Welcome to the week.
I don't know what's funnier, 20 Donkey Kongs or Platoon or Cynic saying fuck reading that last name. Platoon, you can take that one. Just tapped out.
Pie Guy says, Cynic, at 28 years I saw trailers for The Long Walk. Megan 2 and Together. Any thoughts on these? Together looks wild. I hope it's good. Yeah, all three of those look really no, I shouldn't say all three. The Long Walk and Together look pretty interesting. Megan 2, I think looks like shit, and that's me being a fan of the first one. So I just hate what they're doing. I understand like swinging for the fences, but like my favorite Child's Play movies, Child's Play 2. I think the first three are all pretty good. And so if you kind of stuck with the same formula, I don't think you're going to go wrong. They didn't need to change it up so fast. So looks kind of stupid. Mega Spidey Man says, to all, favorite Batman and why him? Favorite Joker and why him? Yeah. Would be cool to see you lads on Mr. Brown Alliance. Yes. I've been meaning to be on Mr. Brown for the past like 3 or 4 weeks straight, but maybe this Sunday I can pop in. Platoon, who's your favorite Batman and Joker?
Probably just incredibly conventional choices. It's going to be Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, and because those are the Batman movies I grew up with.
Go on.
I'm gonna say Robert Pattinson and Heath Ledger.
Ooh,
yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Irish one in the Batman.
Oh no fucking way! No
fucking way!
No, screw that. No way. It's I think Heath Ledger. Most people, it's going to be the unanimous pick. The Batman question is the interesting one. I think Ben Affleck fucking was the best Batman in terms of who was the best Bruce Wayne. Christian Bale. The best Batman was Ben Affleck. He was fucking thick as fuck. He had the jaw. He just filled out that mask. I think the best I really liked the interpretation of Bruce Wayne with Robert Pattinson, but the overall, I love the scene of Christian Bale telling everyone to get the fuck out of his apartment, just like you're all freeloaders, drinking all my booze. But he's trying to save them too, right? He did a really good Bruce Wayne, but Ben Affleck has the look for Batman that just really works.
Because everyone's taken, I'll pick Kevin Conroy and unfortunately Mark Hamill as animated versions. Because I watched the Justice League as a kid, the animated series. They were awesome. And Mark Hamill may be a freak, but he's a great Joker.
He's a great actor. He's good. In the House
It's
of
good.
Usher, I loved him as the Pim Reaper. A lot of people just think he's just on Twitter talking shit, but he's still got it. He's still talented.
But that laugh, though, he's got the Joker laugh perfect. He has got the iconic one. And Kevin Conroy, he had the balance of sounding like he could sound very tough, but he could also sound very intelligent. I don't know how he got that balance. It's just awesome.
The Smart Review says 28 years later was trash. I was so disappointed, shaking my head.
It doesn't get any better on a rewatch either. That's the thing. Because I watched it once and thought, I'm not sure about this. Maybe the second watch it'll be clearer. The second watch, it was a little bit clearer, but I don't think it was better.
Getting clearer just makes it worse when you think about how stupid it is. That's why I think it's best to separate it as it's two movies. One movie was pretty good, but can't be great because it got cut off. The other movie was fucking shit and disappointing.
Big T, what do y'all think will be parodied in Scary Movie 6? Why are we on 6? Holy
fuck. Definitely the Paranormal Activity movies to some degree.
I hope they don't do like a Trump one. It's been done like 1,000 times. It's boring.
I'm
it's
tired of
also
Trump.
safe. Yeah, everyone's bored of him.
I'm tired. I'm done.
Actually, Naked Gun is actually doing an OJ Simpson joke that's kind of funny.
That's bold. That's bold.
But I say it actually works. Everyone's sad, and except for his son, who just doesn't mention anything. But at least have balls when you're gonna do it.
Hereditary. Someone just said. Hereditary is a good pick. That might be one.
Because they had the Michael Jackson one in number 3, and that was funny. He goes, "Where's my daughter?" He goes, "I swear I never touched her. She's a girl." He's chasing her.
Steel Manning says the last taste in your mouth was Jimmy Savile.
Yeah, that's the reference at the end of 28 years later that they were going off of, and just those tracksuits, the hair, the flips, the rings. Nobody talks about the rings. He just had so much bling. It's like, why are you? I'm so overwhelmed. They're so fresh. They look like it looked like a different movie. It looked like a mistake on the editing timeline. It looked like a fucking, I can't even, I've heard several people say it. It should be considered one of the most shocking and jarring tonal shifts ever in a movie. Like if you're going to explain tonal inconsistency to someone who's new to media literacy type shit, that's a good scene to explain it, of what
That motherfucker's teeth look like they were 28 years later.
Yeah, it's just all
any service at all.
I mentioned this before. You legit have this scene in The Walking Dead, and they do it better. Lori, or the blonde chick, I can never remember her name, Andrea. She's wandered off. She gets separated from the group, and that's how you introduce Michonne, where she has the 2 zombies with the arms and mouths cut off, which was the most brilliant zombie tactic ever, and they ignored it for the rest of the series. They've never done anything creative ever again. But that was a great way to introduce Michonne. Jimmy should have got something like that, and showing him as decked out. He should have looked so worn, and he's just been through so many battles, so much experience with these. But instead we get that goofy, whatever the hell that was. So
he could have looked like a corpse. He could have bones on him. He could have looked bones.
You could look. I'm thinking Guts from Berserk for some reason. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but some type of
the bone armor makes sense. You just have a bunch of bones wrapped around you as some sort of makeshift armor. Anything would be better than tracksuits, multicolored.
What they needed? Yeah, this is stupid. You needed something that a show don't tell moment. Just from looking at them, you need to be able to see 28 years of zombie fighting experience and have a good idea of this guy knows what he's fucking doing in this world without him saying a word. It could have just ended just with the imagery of him, and Spike says, "Who are you?" and it ends. I would have taken that.
Filthy Casual. The ending felt spiteful to the rest of the movie.
That's spot on.
Ruddy, the sequel will introduce Philip Schofield.
Schofield. He's another one. Yeah. Basically, anyone who worked in British television from more than 5 years ago, probably a nonce. And Philip Schofield is just one of those.
Yeah, there's one thing we make is pedophiles.
Big T says
the real monster is pedophilia. Not the zombies, it's the pedo.
Big T, did Nia DaCosta direct that last part of 28 Years Later?
No, she's doing the sequel.
she's doing a sequel. I did wonder when looking at it, like maybe they brought in the way that the Thunderbolts post credits was done by the Russos, whether they might have given that section to the director of the next film. I couldn't find anything to confirm that was true though, so I assume that was still Danny Boyle.
That'd be my guess though. But he filmed the first 10 minutes of 28 Weeks Later, and then gave it on to someone else. So I wouldn't be surprised if they left the last few minutes of this for someone else. It would explain.
Didn't they film them back to back? So there would be some overlap. They would have seen each other's like movies a little bit.
Big T says, which of these will be remembered more fondly?
You got it.
All right. Wheel of Time, Last of Us 2, Game End Show, Multiverse Saga, Rings of Power, Snyder's DC film. Jesus. Kurtzman's
Star Trek.
Whitaker, Gatwa, Doctor Who, and Disney Star Wars.
The answer is easy there. Snyder's, because he has the Snyder fans supporting it.
He does have a base,
yeah, they're goblins. Like, so you kind of got to remove that one, even to make it interesting.
But nobody's gonna remember Wheel of Time besides me and that woman with the jaw.
Yeah, you and this crew. There's like 2 people on planet Earth that will remember that. Maybe Shad. Throw 3. You got 3, you guys.
The Last of Us 1, the game and the show, will probably still be remembered reasonably fondly if you then pretend that 2 didn't come out.
I think that almost should be removed because Snyder and that is like the easy answers because people do love the game, so that shouldn't even count. The Multiverse Saga, Rings of Power, and everything else is much more competitive with each other.
Well, the Multiverse Saga is attached to the MCU. So that has the same thing as The Last of Us, where the first one is remembered.
It might be remembered the most fondly just because it's attached to things that they actually like, where the Rings of Power isn't. Nobody thinks of the Rings of Power and attaches it to Lord of the Rings. It's supposed to be canon, but it's the most uncanon thing that is canon. Like, nobody gives a fuck. That's not Galadriel. Go away. You fucking hobbit. I refuse.
I'd maybe Wheel of Time because, again, no one remembers it.
That might help it.
Jackson Voorhees has you all seen Predator: Killer of Killers?
Yeah, it wasn't
the animated one. Yeah, not seen that.
Heard it was shit.
I thought it was. Yeah, it was. I'd heard from basically everyone who has seen it that it's a load of crap, but I have not.
It's got good bits. I mean, like, the animation and style is good, and some of the violence is okay, but like the predators end up being really stupid.
I'm tired of predators. I'm tired.
Yeah. And like the whole ending was just nonsensical. It was just retarded.
There was never a moment in Predator, the original, where I'm like, man, this guy's kind of shit at his job, man. He's fucking stupid. Like, what are you doing? Why'd they send you? No, he was badass and interesting from the beginning to the end. And they haven't gotten that right since.
The new Runs Predator, Badlands, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
the new one.
What are they doing? What's your guys' thoughts on Predators? Because that's one of the people that's one of the only ones a lot of people defend. Like, in terms of being
all right.
I just think which one that is.
It's the one with Eric Foreman as the villain.
No, that's not helping me at all.
It's like the third best.
Is that Adrian Brody is like one of them?
Yes.
Or...
Adrian Brody trying to be a fucking badass.
Oh, I do remember
Eric
that
Foreman from that 70s show trying to be a villain, and a bunch of like just weird.
Everyone's miscast, you know?
Yeah, none of it works. It's such a strange.
It is a strange movie, but it is still like, it's pretty good.
Watchable.
Yeah, it's watchable, and it's probably the third best Predator movie in my opinion. But
that's like
first, second,
the rest of them are dog shit.
Yeah,
they are.
Would you say it's better than Prey?
After the first.
What about between Prey? Because I rewatched Prey and hated it, but initially liked it just for the Predator parts. Just for pure entertainment, which one would you put on to be entertained by it?
Oh, Predators is more entertaining than Prey. Yeah.
Yeah, Prey's a bit more like feminist girl bossy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
that really annoys me.
Yeah, Naru is one of the worst characters that people don't talk about as being one of the worst characters. She's hot, she's awful.
And it's like a plant that lowers body temperature. Why would anyone need that in the wild? You sleep outside, it's freezing already.
It's just stupid.
Big T says Born Again is set before Brave New World, and Thunderbolts based on official timeline. Also, Reaper, what are you talking about? Great Disney Plus shows: She-Hulk, Acolyte, Falcon Show, Ahsoka, Secret Invasion, Miss Marvel, Echo, and eventually Ironheart.
The second part of that super chat makes me disbelieve the first part of that super chat.
That's hilarious. I know. I can't believe anything you say, Big T. Sorry. The Acolyte is I think it's the worst show I've ever seen in my life. It from a moral perspective and how stupid it is. Like not even just like objective writing standards, morally flawed and just evil. Like what they did to Soul is as bad as what they did to Luke.
And then
it's on par with so many other
lets
things.
himself get choked to death.
It's fucking insane. I took a 6-month break from YouTube last year because I had to just do with in real life shit, and the Acolyte brought me back. It was Soul. Like, what did you fucking do? What have you done to this man, Master Soul? No, say something, please. Defend yourself.
It's also how lazy they are. We have a Korean actor. Where's he from? Soul. Sound, that's his name.
All right, that's his name.
It's so fucking pathetic. Because from Soul Korea, it's so fucking lame, man. But Lee Jung Jae, between his performance in Soul and Ji Hoon in Squid Game, I fucking love that guy as an actor. He's so great.
Yeah,
he can act. We've seen him act. It's clearly the show.
Excellent. It's just the show. They fucked him up, man. Yeah. Shameless plug, but if anyone hasn't seen that Acolyte review, I think I did a really good job like going through every single component of Soul's story to explain how fucked up his ending is. So anyone who hasn't seen it or wants a refresh, like what a piece of shit that show was.
Lance says, I assume the mom did what she did in 28 years later because maid services are coming to an English medical center near you soon. All glory to the NHS.
Medical assistant.
Yeah, but she could have got a late term abortion and been done with it. You know, it's allowed now. Danny Boyle would know anyway. He did the Olympics opening ceremony, which was a weird sort of religious cult ritual glorifying the NHS. And now I'm thinking it really should have just been a load of assisted dying beds for the entire Olympics opening ceremony.
It'd be funny if they went, "Let me help you die," and she starts punching the baby. Just
it's legal now.
Hemorrhoid Hurt says, just arrived for a bit of Peak Reaper. Aquaman sucks.
Brought him up.
I don't know. Big T again says, Corn Sweat's Superman curse. Every role where he's the lead actor will have him be overshadowed by vainglorious creatives.
Well, it's what's happening at the moment. It's on him to sort of really stand out in the role, I guess, and make people talk about him after the film's out.
He has a great opportunity to establish himself as an actor. Everyone's talking about James Gunn. Everyone's talking about Superman. Everyone's talking about all the other things. No one's talking about him. What if he comes out and has an incredible... What if he's the best Superman ever? Like, this would be... I'm kind of rooting for him, just for him to... I don't know, just save face, you know? Because if this doesn't do good, he's screwed.
He seems like a bit of a nerd. He seems likable. Everyone thinks he's funny. Like, I hope it actually works out for him. Unless the film's shit, then fuck him.
I'm sure, but deep down, I'm kind of rooting for him. Like, the Alden Ehrenreich guy. Imagine how pumped he thought, I'm gonna be fucking Han Solo, bitches. Fuck everybody, and then it fucking falls off the face of the earth.
No, but look,
now he's an Ironheart.
He's an Ironheart. Yeah, you're not even the lead. You're not even the lead of Ironheart. That's your comeback.
You went from Han Solo to Riri's fucking gay best friend or something, or whatever he's gonna be.
Lance, isn't Damian Wayne the result of Talia al Ghul turkey baster R-wording that Bruce Wayne seed? Yes.
Oh, she didn't turkey baste him. She just drugged him and raped him. There was no turkey involved. She got it straight from the source.
Well, I guess it depends on the adaptation or the source.
So, it's less fun as well. I mean, what girl is going to wank a guy off and then turkey baste them? Just ride them.
Tay says, my brother and I recently rewatched some of our favorite pre-MCU movie scenes, total nostalgia trip, and it goes from me wondering, what's your favorite pre-MCU Marvel movie? Sorry if asked before. Pre-MCU Marvel movie?
Spider-Man 2.
Many.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. Yeah. It's a good one.
I was watching Jurassic Park last night as homework. That's a very good film. Jaws came up earlier. Very good film. Star Wars. Very good movie. Original. And Empire. Less so all of the others. There's loads. No, there's too many.
But pre-MCU Marvel
movie.
Oh, Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Just any other film.
I was like, where did you go to get that?
Any film.
Oh, pre-MCU. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we
X-Men?
should take I think Spider-Man 2 and potentially X2 should be removed from this list just to make it more interesting because those are just too easy.
The original
Spider-Man
X-Men
2
then.
stands up. I think Spider-Man 2 is still top 5 to this day.
Still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Spawn, yeah, nice.
Spawn,
Blade.
Blade, Spider-Man 2 or X-Men 2. It would have to be that probably.
Mm.
If you're just saying superheroes, then easy Batman Begins for me. I love that movie.
Low key like Ghost Rider 2007.
Get the fuck off my lawn, son.
Thomas Jane Punisher, I also like.
That might be my dark horse
like
pick. I love that movie.
Too, yeah.
I really like that movie. John Travolta was awesome. Kevin Nash as the Russian was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I love that scene.
Steel Manning says Superman is simple. Write Captain America and make him stronger. Yeah, I thought that too.
No, Cap is way more interesting than him, especially with Chris Evans' performance.
He's got
way more interesting.
Winter Soldier to bounce off of too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got responsibilities. Damn it, that makes him interesting. Steel Manning again says Soldier Boy was the most interesting character. Yeah, well, he was up there, that's for sure. Big T again says Reaper, which is worse, True Detective season 4 or Boys season 4?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a I think I hate The Boys more for its pretentiousness and other people going, it's a great show. It's not great. It's shit. Whereas Night Country, no one else seems to have watched it and everyone seems to agree it's shit. At least they agree with my opinion. With the boys fandom are the worst fandom in the world. So I'd give it that edge. Oh, but fuck me, is True Detective terrible? Oh my god.
I completely agree. When you think something is objectively terrible and people are defending it like completely, it just makes it so much worse. It's just so frustrating. That's like
they just go Trump supporting when I don't give a fuck about Trump. It's literally just a poorly written show.
Don't care.
Steel Manning again says Spielberg got the job because the producer said Spielberg knows more about lenses than anyone I know. Is that referring to Jaws?
Did we even talk about Jaws? I swear we pivoted to the abyss instantly and it just got lost somehow.
No, we talked about the Jaws.
Did we say anything? Yeah, we said
talked about the Jaws.
You laid out all the facts for Jaws as well. You talked the most about
You talked the most about it.
That's right. I did. I just moved on. Shit. I just love that movie, man. Any facts about Jaws are interesting facts.
James Busher with the peace sign.
Just for you, James. I'm
just
going back
on. Intent Matters says, hey, BSUP, when are you going to react to that 2-hour video that's shitting on Cynic? It's actually not 2 hours, I guess.
Were we supposed to do that?
Hour.
Were we supposed to? Totally forgot.
Well, the problem is they're all busy. We've got 20 years later, Jurassic World, Superman, fantastic. Yeah, it's a very
July is going to be fucked.
It's going to be insane, man.
Maybe August. I guess it quietens down.
Yeah, when it's dead, we'll watch that.
Yep.
And I'll be his number one in the comments going, this guy's great.
He's right. He's fucking right. Cynic sucks dick. Wonder Girl 108. I don't have anything worthwhile to say this week, but have some money anyway. You guys don't get paid enough. I don't know how much you get paid, but it's not enough. Platoon alone with like 6 things going on, I would die.
Yeah, it feels that way. But it's okay. We get to be here having fun. Talking about not wonderful. Talking about shit movies, but having a good time doing it.
On a Monday.
Wild Dog. Do you guys have any expectations for Squid Game 3?
No.
Disappointment.
I just rewatched season 2. I liked it way more on rewatch, and I have more faith in season 3 now than I did on the initial watch. So, yeah. I think it holds up much better on rewatch when you're prepared for what's going to actually happen. The character work is way more enjoyable than I remembered. There's even certain characters, in terms of the side characters, like more than the season 1 ones. I think Squid Game season 2 is accurately described a mixed bag, but it's got some real moments of greatness in it. And I think the things that they don't have a million things floating. I think they can get this done in one good season. I'm praying for it. I have more faith in season Squid Game than like a lot of things right now.
But the strength the strength of the show was always in the games and developing the characters and the dynamics and the twists. Every time it goes outside the games, it's always kind of shit.
It's literally
Like
a parasite. The cop plot is a parasite on the show. It's
Mhm.
literally just
the,
it's on its neck like a fucking tumor, just sucking it. It's point.
But
Just
that's
skip
the
the cop
problem.
scenes.
Because the problem is that has to be the ending. That actually is what's going to build up the ending, like his
It's a
own
pivotal
brother.
part of the plot. Yeah.
So all the
fucking
great
get it.
stuff is inside the game show, but once you leave the game show, it's shit. But the problem is, I don't see how you end it without going outside the game show.
I think the games is a significant part of the success of the show, but I would disagree with that. I think Ji-hoon's character and his character arc is the strongest part of Squid Game. The Marble game
Why
in
is that alive?
season 1.
Once they rebelled and shot all those people and like
The end, yeah,
like,
I know exactly what you mean. Like you're gonna
You're just gonna
either have to
carry
have some
on.
brilliant writing or plot armor. So it's gonna begin with brilliance or bullshit. There's no other option in terms of how he gets out of that scenario.
and like, what's the ending gonna be? The army shows up and shoots all the rich people. I mean, like, you can't. That's the
have no
thing.
idea.
You can't end. They're all like billionaires. You can't stop it.
Aren't you slightly intrigued by that? Like, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Where usually
that's
you
not a
can
good
predict a
thing.
lame ending. No, but think about it. Sometimes you can predict a lame ending where at least there's some mystery here. It might be trash, but they do have an opportunity to pull off something. I
Well, I'll
think they
wait a
can make a
week.
season. I
I'll
think
wait a
season
week and I'll
3.
see your reaction.
I think season 3 can improve season 2, where I don't think 28 years later, part 2 will improve 28 years later. They already fucked it up.
Well, we'll see in a week how happy you are or miserable.
Well, hey, there's a plug. I'm making a Squid Game video. I'm trying to release it right before, and it's essentially on that. It's Ji-hoon's first meeting with the recruiter, comparing it to his second meeting with the recruiter, because I think that is the brilliance of Squid Game, like the arc and leveraging their first meeting and making such an incredible scene based off that while showing the differences in their character. I thought was genius. That's what Squid Game is at its strength. Fuck the cop. Just ignore all his scenes. Just skip them. Fast forward. So shit.
Again, my Chaz is Lil Platoon. Co-pilot thought that you were a former pro rugby player and that you wrote books on it. I asked it to double check and it still insisted on it.
Well, if Copilot says so, then I guess it must be true. I'm not aware of this, but you know, I've had a load of jobs. Maybe that's one of them. I don't think it is, but I could have been high.
Wisnilly P says, I just found out that Bella Ramsey is her real name. I thought that was her Game of Thrones name, similar to calling Saul Squid Game.
Yeah, no, who is she in Game of Thrones? Is it
Lady Mormont?
Yeah.
Lady Mormont. Lyanna, she was named after John's mother, which was like a really, really cool reference that ultimately went nowhere, but fuck it. That's season 8.
But fuck it. Well, that does it for all the super chats. Yeah, and that does it for yet another episode of BSUP, I think. Go around and thank the panel. Jedi Brooks, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for co-hosting. Always appreciate you being here every week. What a gentleman you are. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you up to next?
Lilo and Stitch video, scene comparison that's coming. Squid Game, I need to get that done so I can get it up before the season comes out. 100% doing something on Ironheart. I procrastinated for the last fucking year on doing the Riri video that I already have all the notes and things planned for, and now I'm literally like, I've procrastinated down to like the last 4 hours. I've ran out of time. I wanted to do a stream, just the cameo stream. Essentially, Riri Williams has 50 minutes of screen time. I wanted to compare that with all the other characters in the MCU that have 15 minutes or less and show what they achieved within that. Like, for example, Yinsen in Iron Man 1 was like 8 minutes. So much more memorable than Riri. So, yeah, that will be coming up soon if I can figure that out. But definitely some Ironheart content. That's my Snow White. That fucking idiot. She's a terrible character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, yep. I'm looking forward to Squid Game Season 3. We'll just see how that plays out.
Reaper, what about you, sir?
I still haven't finished my Last of Us.
Get on it, man.
Might want to get on it.
I watched that Elio. I'll make a short video on that because that was just a shit Pixar movie. They
right. I forgot that came out.
It's a half blind Latino boy, and it's just boring as fuck. Like, it just, I won't get into it, but like, it requires everyone, literally everyone, to be retarded. Even aliens with godlike powers. Like, basically, he sends a message out into space going, "Hello, I'm Elio. I'd like to meet you." And then the aliens with godlike powers, the ability to stop time, catch him as he's getting beaten up by a bunch of bullies and go, "You must be the leader of Earth," when he's getting his ass kicked by some bullies. How could you possibly think that? And at the end of the film, all the aliens go, "I can't believe it. He's a child." Which you can see humans on the planet. You can see adults. Anyway, I'm not too into it.
They need aliens to be stupid for the plot to function. I've seen that before.
Really stupid.
Fucking Arrival.
Just a way, yeah. So I'll do Elio, and then as Ironheart will probably be first though, since it's tomorrow. So Ironheart, Elio, Last of Us. Some guy said, "Haha, everyone likes Castlevania Season 2. Fuck you, your video sucks." So I'm dedicated to making my Season 2 video. I've done 33 minutes. I've got another 30 to go.
It's funny how one comment could just set a fire under you. You can have like
a
1,000 nice ones, 1,000 nice ones that you forget to even like, but then one asshole just fucking put you on a mission. It's just crazy.
It was like, "You didn't make a Season 2 review because you know it's good." I'm like, I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, you wait right there. But that's the same with me. The Riri idea stemmed from me getting the comment of like, "Oh, you can't talk about her. It's not her movie."
Yeah.
I'm like, get out of here. It's a slap in the face to any cameo that was good.
Also, F1 is out in the day after tomorrow. The Brad Pitt film.
Oh yeah,
it looks good.
Forget all about that.
Yeah, it's not going to make its money back.
Yeah, it's probably not a good thing that I've seen like a million commercials for it and still don't remember when it was coming out.
I still can't believe you didn't watch the trailer for 28 years later. That's all everybody was talking about. I genuinely
didn't give a shit.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been an event without that trailer. That's what got everyone in the theater.
Yeah.
It wasn't word of mouth or like no one had any reason to think this was good. It was strictly the trailer.
Mm.
I think I ignored the trailer too. I tend to ignore trailers. Yeah, trailers are they're misleading. They're designed to trick you.
Dude, since 2014, I've been done with trailers. I can mark them out. It was Godzilla 2014. They advertised Walter White yelling at Godzilla, and they were both in the movie for like fucking 20 minutes. It was a lie. Biggest lie ever. It's bullshit. And oh my god, oddly enough, Aaron Taylor Johnson was in that movie as well, and he got wasted in that as well. He's fucking hero, man.
Yep.
But yeah, this I'll honestly say, like, I would still recommend. I recommend the trailer more than the movie. put it to you that way. It's a phenomenal trailer. It just led us astray because what we got was a clusterfuck.
There's no point in watching the trailer now.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
Movie was ass. I'm just gonna be wow. Yeah. I'm sure this broke a lot of hearts.
It might still be
weekend.
There might be value in it too. It might be actually fascinating to see, like, this is what they advertised. This is not what we got. Because in the trailer, the mask was emphasized in a way we were like, oh, there's gonna be a big part of the plot, some cult. When it was just some a nothing burger. Yeah.
Platoon, what are you doing up? What are you up to next? What are you doing?
I don't even know. There's too many things. I was going to do a second channel 28 years later, but then Ironheart is out in 2 hours time. And then I was also getting ahead of Jurassic World Afterbirth, which I know is going to be shit. So I'm writing my conclusion before the film comes out because it saves some time. But it's great as it's a nice little deep dive into Michael Crichton and Steven Spielberg and how the original was made and the changes between the books and the films and why it's such a good film as opposed to the shit films we get. Having loads of fun with that. But that's now also going to have to take a backseat probably for Ironheart, I guess. Maybe Ironheart probably is the next thing you'll see from me, would be my guess. And then Jurassic World.
Wow. Sounds like you're, busy.
Yeah. Just a bit.
I'm actually busy too, believe it or not.
I don't believe it, no.
Maybe not in comparison, but for me, like actually busy, yeah. I have When Celebrities Self-Destruct Part 5 dropping this week. They're a lot of fun to make. And I'm also doing a 200K celebration hangout general discussion with Jedi Brooks in like 10 minutes on my channel.
Oh.
So if everyone and you guys are invited too if you want.
Yeah, I thought you already mentioned them.
Fuck it, no. You've
Yeah.
ignored us. No, I'm not
I
going
was
to be
like,
your
oh, yeah,
second
what the
thought.
fuck?
Oh,
Well,
that's twice I didn't get told.
I was just like, it'll just be BSUP over again. So is it like weird to invite it? Like,
We'll just
I
get
don't
rid
know.
of the hot ones we don't like.
This fucking bastard. I
nothing
came up with a whole brilliant bingo idea. We all could have done that shit. Blame Cynic. I formatted the entire thing, getting all the rules and everything, and the trivia question that you can be able to do. But there's so many different formats
He
that
sent
you
me
can
this
fuck with,
whole
you know?
format, and I just like ignored it all week.
Completely. I'm just like, oh my god, it's just so much. Like all my work, all my fucking hard work, just completely shifted. But like,
I needed a TLDR, you know.
oh god, it was
You
simple
have-
enough. Simple enough.
The link, you could drop the link to it in the chat, and they could.
Yes.
Yeah.
The link will go right now. Cool. So yeah, that's happening in 15-ish minutes. I need a break. I need to go make a
Mhm.
coffee real quick. But
Intermission.
yeah, we'll be there. Basically, be supping again. But like, I guess it'll be a trial of another format where you guys just hang out and we all hang out. We just talk. I'm gonna talk with the chat.
Well,
and you
part of
guys.
the reason he could have just popped over is like it's. I've been saying it so many times. Some of the best conversations we have end up being offline, and it's just like,
Yeah,
oh, shit.
exactly.
Like,
So
trying to let you
we can
guys
test
come in
that
on
out
that.
in
Yeah.
15 minutes. We can go test that out.
Mm.
But
Put up
yeah,
from there.
oh yeah, and audience, you're invited too. You're like key to that. Forgot. Yeah,
The cake.
yeah, you're the key. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode of BSUP. We will be back next week, but we will also be available in 15 minutes. So
Mm.
yeah,
Good
See
up.
you over there
Good
see you
up.
then.
shortly. See you soon. Goodbye.
Mhm.
Fuck
Take it
you.
easy.